Hello.
Evening.
Jacob, you're muted, sir.
Jacob, you must turn on your microphone.
Yeah, the microphone.
The raccoons got him again.
Oh, no.
What?
Oh, no.
There we go.
Something slowed me down. I don't know what that was. Well, hello, everybody. How are we this evening?
Pretty good, pretty good.
Well enough.
Fine.
I feel like
I'm not looking forward to the same thing that Roman is also not looking forward to, because I am doing the review on Ahsoka with him. So yes, once I get off of here tonight, I'm gonna be watching Ahsoka.
I've
got
the deep
rum,
breath
though.
before the plunge.
Yes, I get to actually watch or comment on a movie that's halfway decent in comparison, or actually it's gold in comparison to what I'm about to see.
That's depressing.
Okay, I'll just go in my corner and cry. All right, I've got rum. Rum fixes all things.
My rum is always gone.
Very sad.
The cause of and solution
sorry.
to all of life's problems.
I'm getting the intro playing in my headphones.
Weird. Is that happening on this? I mean, I don't hear it at all.
No.
I don't hear it either.
I couldn't hear y'all talking. It was too loud.
I am seeing it on the screen, but that's just I'm not.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, Jurassic Park.
The Lost World.
Yes. So, who saw this in the theater? Anybody?
I did.
Well, this came
I
out in
did twice, I
97.
think. I think I did
I was
twice.
5 years old when this came out. I probably did see it like in theaters or something. I remember seeing this at a too young age. Like, I should not have been watching this movie at as young as it. But I also watched Deep Blue Sea and what was another shark movie when I was like 8, and I was afraid of going into pools for a while.
Yeah. I was afraid of going to the
I saw this,
beach.
I think, 2, maybe
I
even
saw
3 times when I think this came out when I was about 14.
Same.
But,
I saw Jaws right before I went to a beach vacation.
Oh,
Nice.
fun.
Yay.
I saw Jaws when I was like 5, and I too was scared of swimming pools.
Like I was convinced that there was a shark at the deep end of the pool. I was so convinced, and you could not change my mind.
Sure.
I was learning to swim at my cousin's, and they had one of those dark 10 pools, so it almost looked bottomless. So yeah, it was kind of terrifying to look down at.
There was a public pool that I had gone to, and when I was younger, you had those weird like goggles and fins and stuff that's supposed to look like different animals. And then one of them was a shark, where you had the goggles and the fin was on your head. And I remember seeing somebody when I was younger swimming around with that, and I'm just like, oh, Grandma, you can't make me go. You can't make me go in the pool. I won't do it. There's a shark. She's like, it's not a shark, dear. I'm like, yes, it's a shark. I'm like, no, dear, it's not. I'm like, but you don't know. She's like, I know, dear. Stop it. I'm like, okay.
Well, a T-Rex does show up at a pool.
That's true.
It does.
In this movie.
Imagine, like, I can't imagine if you were like swimming at night and you just saw the T-Rex like walking by, and you're just like, no more, never again. I'm going over there now.
I think what bugs me is they
and the T-Rex
go to
gets a
fresh
drink
water
and
source, and
a
I'm
snack.
like, that's got chlorine in it, doesn't
I was
it?
thinking
That's
the
not
same thing.
fresh. That's probably disgusting. I mean, I know how it tastes
that'd
to
be
a
funny
human,
if
but
T-Rex died right there,
Right?
drinking the
like a
chlorine
really
water
dirty
source.
family.
Unless maybe, because I know there are some
Yes.
pools that have they do something with the chemicals to where it's fresher. It's like a saltwater pool or something, but really? Chlorine, bleach,
Yeah,
those
yeah.
things kill things.
He should have just been like drinking out of like a sprinkler.
So
or something.
dinosaurs.
Dinosaurs. This is actually one of the movies
Yeah,
when
I
I
can
was
see
younger, I wanted to be
Hey,
a
you know
paleontologist
what?
because of the Jurassic Park movies.
Yeah. The T-Rex, turning on the faucet and drinking out of the hose. Life finds a way, man.
Yeah, exactly. That would have been perfect. That's top tier entertainment.
Let's
I mean,
say
the, I
hello
mean,
to
the
chat
raptors
real
figured
quick.
out how to open a door handle, so this is just the next step in their evolution.
Steven,
Mhm.
ahoy there.
Steven.
Yeah, I wanted to be for the longest time. I wanted to be a paleontologist, and then I realized how much school you have to go, or like for how long you have to go to school, and then how much money you actually make. And I was like, I'm not gonna do that.
Nah.
No, thank you.
Hey there, Matt.
I thought it sounded like a cool idea after the first Jurassic Park, but I think after this movie, I was like, dinosaurs are kind of lame.
I never thought
Hey there,
dinosaurs were
Jenna.
lame, but
I never quite got
wanted
that
to
far,
bring
but I
them
was just like,
alive.
I think my phase is over. Let's watch Star Wars now. Because that was around the time I started getting really into Star
Yeah,
Wars.
here we
so-
go. Roman. Hey, you wacky kids. I'm mildly drunk. Making pasta
Making
and
pasta.
irritated. I need to watch Asaka in an hour.
Well, I hope that you can progress past mildly drunk for that one.
Well, I was
Yeah.
about to say by the end, he definitely will.
Mm-hmm. That's gonna be an
Your
amazing
level-
review.
so good in liquor.
And there's an angry Canadian in the chat. Hello there.
What's up?
There was an angry Mexican
Hey,
on
Corey.
last night's stream on Cannolis.
Yeah, angry
'Cause
Mexican.
he hadn't seen Lord of the Rings. So I wonder why
Yeah.
the Canadian
It's like, oh, no.
were angry. Strange. Same, saw Jaws at 5. F-Ed for life.
Yes, saltwater pools.
You need one of those the more you know buttons where it puts that across the screen.
I do. The more you know. There we go. I could sing it. Okay, here we go. Here we go. Rock and roll.
Let's get lost.
Again.
So it starts off with ominous music.
And a pretty island.
Yeah.
But as we know, an evil island.
Isla Sorna.
Vile.
Evil.
So it doesn't tell us how far away it is from like California.
Yeah,
If it's near Costa Rica, it's like
it's really far.
as
Oh, that's a
far
long
away
way
from
away.
California as
That
you
is a
can
long
get.
way.
Like you're
Mhm.
you're below Mexico there. Like it's right below Mexico.
Could
I
somebody
hate that I'm going to
find a
actually after
map?
the stream go back to that part to see if I missed if I misheard a piece of dialogue and just misunderstood it, or if there's actually
Yeah.
a massive dialogue flub about the distance between those. I am going
Yeah,
to check that
somebody look
after
up
the
a map
stream.
where Costa Rica is and where California is.
Costa Rica is just above Panama, and then
Mhm.
you're in South America. It is
Cool.
almost the very tip of Central America.
Yee.
Gee, yeah,
It's
that's
by
a long ways.
Nicaragua and below Guatemala. It's closer to Cuba than it is to California.
Yeah.
Yeah. Is it closer than Hawaii to California though?
Yes. No, it is further away than Hawaii by a
so
lot.
that's a long boat trip.
And that
But
kid
this-
was on the thing.
Yeah, the distance between San Diego and Costa Rica is 3,500 plus miles. It's very far.
I think they fudged the numbers on that a little bit.
A little. That's a
And
long
there's
way.
the title.
Like, that's a really
Lost.
long way.
It's like, hey, let's go on vacation to this unknown island.
Mysterious island.
Because Hawaii, it's like 2,600 miles. So, there you go.
You know, I can kind of understand if there's like these little remote islands where you can kind of see everything and you know what's there. You know, if you got the boat and the crew to pamper you, just pull up and have lunch. But
I mean,
on a giant island like that one where you have
how
no
did they
idea
get to
what
the
else is
shore?
happening.
I want to know how they got to shore because that beach looks pretty rough.
It does.
Well, when
And
you're
how
rich
is, and
enough, you
honestly,
can
at
just
this
float.
point, how is this island already not got military protection? I don't
Yeah.
get that.
Right.
I
and
do
because
not
they,
get how
they
this is
all
not
knew that the
already being
dinosaurs
protected.
were there.
Yeah.
So this guy here, he was in Galaxy Quest. He was the bad alien dude
Really?
Oh, that's him.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Well, shoot. Well, and you know what's funny is he's actually one of the few people in the movie that I'm like gives a solid performance. Quick as it is, I was like, I actually kind of like this guy.
Right?
Leave
I
her
love how
I
he's
was
just
like,
like,
I kinda
let
like this
our
guy.
daughter be a kid, man. Like, granted, it was kind of the wrong decision to make because she gets almost eaten by dinosaurs. But still, like, I like his parenting style.
Yeah. It's like you don't know that you're in a place that's got all that going on. Who could know that?
Roman.
Well, except for, John Hammond and his grandkids. But yeah, that's a different thing.
Yeah.
Also, that little girl,
Oh yeah, she's somebody.
her name is Camilla Bell. She's gone on to do other things. Not
Really?
necessarily good things, but, other things. Yeah, she was in 10,000 BC. I know that's everyone's favorite movie, or at least top 5.
I actually never saw that movie.
I only remember the title.
So they let their little girl go wander off in this unknown island. Brilliant.
Also,
I mean,
his,
I was
his
kind of
line "No
like-
snakes on the beach" is factually untrue in most places.
Like,
I was like,
On-
I'm
on
like,
one
why are you
end-
that confident about that?
on one end, I understand why the mom's worried. Like, I'd be worried too. We're on a strange island. We have no idea what could be here. But I also, like, I get the dad's point of view of, like, stop helicopter parenting her. And it's just like, there should be a happy medium where it's like,
Yeah.
you don't go too far, but, like,
You can literally Google a list of snakes that live on beaches.
Yeah,
Just
right.
literally Google a list.
a coral snake. There's such a thing as a coral snake.
Exactly.
Also,
look, how
shout out
cute.
to that
Look
mom
at that,
who is
it's a
so
little bird.
she's so like pampered that when she walks up to an empty glass with the champagne right there, she calls
Like,
for help to have it poured.
Goes
I'm glad I'm not the only one that caught that. I backed it up to check it.
like,
Right? I was just like,
It's
wait
like,
a second. Does she
oh.
not even know how to pour her own glass of wine? What?
But anyway, these famous little buggers.
Compies.
man, they're wicked little things.
They
Right?
are.
It's just like, oh, are you some kind of bird?
I
No,
hated that
it's
line
not
so
me.
much. I'm like, oh no, she's retarded. This doesn't
Yeah.
look anything like a bird.
She's pampered. That's the problem. She's
Maybe, yeah.
pampered.
It would
She's
make more
that much
sense
of a
if they
shut-in.
updated their look to what we think they look like today, but not the lizard version.
Yeah, it's like it looks very clearly like a lizard. Because it is.
She's like, I found something. Oh yeah, you sure found something.
Right? Something that's going to eat your face off. I mean, what?
It's like, hi. It's a lot of these little
Yes,
chicken
Roman.
little chicken things. I don't know if y'all ever I don't know how old Beard is, but there was a Jurassic Park game for Sega Genesis, and you could play as a Velociraptor, and you could walk
I remember
around
that game. I
eating
played that
little
game.
compies. So that was kind of cool.
Yes,
I remember playing
I
the
think I-
game with what's his name? Alan. You
Yeah.
play Alan Grant and you walk around on the screen.
Mhm.
You could either be him or you could be the raptor. You could play two.
Yeah,
different roles.
I liked being the raptor and just eating everybody.
Yeah, and you could literally beat that game in like 5 minutes. It's really fast. Oh my gosh, I just realized there's 2 gingers in this movie. There's 2 ginger women.
Mm.
That's a
Can't have that.
suspicious amount of gingers.
Ginger side is
And I love how these people, they just hear her scream and they're all like, what was that? Did you hear that?
Yeah, everybody
I'm
stands
not
still.
sure what's going on. Like the dad's like, wait a second.
Yeah, he's mildly concerned.
And then like her scream of she stands there and scream like, nah, bruh, run towards your child and then scream when you see your child, man. I granted they couldn't show the condition of the child on screen at this point in time, I think, in cinema. But
Well, you gotta think the real horror for her is that the vacation's gonna be cut short.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's the real horror for her.
Darn
And
vacation.
I don't mind her.
She's
her
realizing,
scream,
oh
like,
my gosh, this is gonna
I
cost
planned
us
this
money.
vacation for months.
But her scream kind of fits it being a Spielberg film and how much he likes the old classics and things like that. It feels like something out of an old classic film.
mm-hmm.
And you
Like
get
an
that
old black and
occasionally
white.
here.
Yeah. We get our first appearance of Dr. Malcolm.
Yes.
Great transition from the screen to the on. I
Yeah.
love it.
Mm-hmm.
It sums up the movie very well.
Right.
Right.
I also love how the overarching like theme is no one listens to Dr. Malcolm, and and bad things happen when you don't listen to Dr. Malcolm.
That's right.
I still
I
kind of
really
have to
wanted-
blame him though. He never sounds all that, or he more just sounds annoyed that they're not listening.
Yeah.
Never all that desperate, just annoyed.
I really wanted to slap this guy.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
I was like, you're the reason
It's like,
why
oh, crap.
conspiracy theorists have a bad name.
See,
like,
that's
I've worked
If you
with
were a
like several of
conspiracy-
him.
if you were a conspiracy theorist
gotta
and
do.
like someone as important as Dr. Malcolm, like, is there? What are you doing? I'd be like, can I have your autograph? I believe what you said. Not. Rawr.
that frame right there is me anytime a stranger tries to make small talk out in public.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
But no,
Please
no.
don't.
Mm-mm.
I make small talk in public because I'm an extrovert, but also like I'm not just gonna randomly walk up to you. If we're in a line waiting for something, I'll be like,
Yeah, I mean, there might, pop up a reason to talk, but
Yeah.
not just randomly like that.
going to
look,
sit next to
it's,
you and
it's
stare at
Elaine's.
you.
It's Elaine's boss from Seinfeld.
I knew
Yeah.
I knew that face from somewhere.
Yeah, it's Mr. Lippman, I think is his name. But yeah, I saw him and I was like, he's funny in that show. I wish he had a bigger role.
I kind of liked the kids' cameo here. It's
Yeah,
just
this
like,
is actually a
Yeah.
scene I kind of liked. I kind of liked the
Yeah.
scene.
Yeah.
like you get
you
to
know.
see, oh, they weren't completely traumatized for the rest of their life.
They're just drugged up right
Yes.
now.
Probably.
He's like, here, I brought you a toy. And he brought a little dinosaur, and the kid's like,
And plus, seeing this at age 14 and seeing her, grown up a bit, I was like, oh, hello. She was quite pretty.
Yeah. She was also in Tremors, too.
Is she? Oh, I didn't know that.
Oh.
She
did not know
survived
that.
Tremors and Dinosaurs.
That's
Wow.
a great repertoire. I was like, you go to an employer, so I see that you fought dinosaurs.
Well, and
Oh.
Tim survived the Pacific Rim because he's in Pacific Rim.
He
I
was.
didn't realize that.
Yeah, he's
Who
in
was he?
Justified also.
Who was he in Pacific Rim?
He's the kid. He's the guy who ultimately, like, he starts off as like he has a lot of faith, and he kind of loses his faith over the course of the war. So he really hardens him, and he gets a lot. He ends up with like really bad PTSD. Don't remember the name of his character, but yeah, he's a pretty big character in the Pacific. Not Pacific Rim. Wow,
It's like,
Pacific
what?
Rim.
What?
I meant the Pacific. I'm an idiot.
Oh, yeah, the Pacific.
I
was
mushed
good.
up two dumb sound
Man.
movies.
I didn't know we were fighting, giant kaiju in World War II.
Wow. Yeah,
So
you
we're
could make a
introduced
short
to
out of that. And
This
say,
dude.
look, listen to this idiot.
I really like the back and forth here, that because it feels, and you get that with some of the with actually a lot of Spielberg films, it's not a line and pause and a line, much like how Ahsoka does it, but people are actually talking over and conversations are happening while somebody else is, like, the other guy's whispering sign here. It feels really natural. I like that it
Yeah, it
holds
does.
on this for as long as it does, instead of cutting close-ups to try to make it look like we know Ian's annoyed. We don't need a close-up of him like sighing or anything like that. They just let the scene play. Love it.
I think they do a decent job here of setting up this guy as the villain. They have
Yep.
a nice little back and forth. It's arguably the best dialogue of the movie, is this little exchange between these two.
Mhm.
So I'm like, okay, it sets up what happened to Ian after this. He basically broke the non-disclosure agreement, and they made sure he paid the consequences for it, ruined his reputation. I'm like, okay, that's very believable. It's very
Yeah.
believable. So
And I guess that
And
kind of
there
lends
he is.
itself to why they didn't have military around that island, is because it was so secret. Even the military didn't know.
But I
Yeah.
thought, like, didn't they establish in the first one they had been working with the Costa Rican government
No.
over this? I mean, didn't
don't
they
know.
know that
Forget.
already? I don't. I'd have to go back and make sure, but I could have sworn they knew what was going on. Like, I think he actually said he leased the islands from the government.
Okay.
Granted, maybe they didn't know what he was up to, but I would think that would break some big laws. But
I don't know if you write a big enough check, nobody really cares.
maybe the Costa Rican government is
especially in
really
this
corrupt.
thing. I can't believe, like, it's like, yeah, I know I'm about to go to a dinosaur infested island to take photos, but money.
Actually, I have a question for you, Untamed. Since you brought up Tolkien and Mando before the show started, have you seen Richard Attenborough's Shadowlands that he directed about C.S. Lewis?
I have heard of it.
I haven't.
I want to.
I highly recommend it. It's a great movie. Great movie.
I want to watch it, but I haven't had the chance to. It's on my list of things that
It's a
continues
sad
to get
movie,
longer
but
every day.
It's really, really good. Hopkins does a phenomenal job playing C.S. Lewis, even though he looks nothing like him. Disappears into the role still.
So,
Very nice.
who has read the books? Jurassic Park
Long
books?
time ago.
I
Long
have
time
one
ago.
of them. I'm working on getting the other one.
I
I think I have Lost World.
Yeah.
Because
Do
I
you
know
want
in
me
the
to
books.
spoil things for you in the
Oh,
books?
yeah.
I mean, I'm not
Oh,
going to
I
read
don't care.
them.
I'm going to read them anyway.
Okay.
I know he
won't say
dies in
anything
the
about that.
original Jurassic Park
Oh.
book. I knew that. I am aware of
Yeah.
that. Doesn't he get eaten by
Can't-
like
can't-
compies or something?
Campies. Yeah, Campies get him.
Mm-hmm.
And I know the
But
Dilophosaur
yeah,
is like way bigger in the book, like 10 foot. It's like
Yeah.
freaking huge.
And they, what is it? Oh, phooey. But yeah, the descriptions of the dinosaurs eating people is
Oh,
very
yeah.
descriptive.
Because
Yeah.
I did read I read a little bit of the first one, like a friend of mine had it and he was letting me read little snippets. He goes, skip to here, and it was like where Nedry died, and I was like, oh dear, that's awful. I almost
Yeah.
feel sorry for him. Almost.
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 So this whole here where he's, I want to think that Hammond is playing this intentionally, because as we go forward, he's talking about, the board took everything away, but he's still got site B, and so he's playing some sympathy card, and then he gets up and he's got a cane, and as you go forward, he leaves the cane behind as he's trying to pitch going back to the island to this guy, and then he just leans on his arm. And then later on, he's walking around completely fine after he's left. And he's got a wheelchair sitting at the foot of his bed. So we're supposed to be told, like, this is a man at the end of his life, his failing health. But I don't know if it's a movie mistake and I'm giving them more credit, or if it was part of the character, because he seems to get stronger and stronger as he convinces Ian to go back.
Well, I mean, I've seen people who have wheelchairs who don't necessarily always use them. It kind of depends on what they actually have to do that day. So I don't know if maybe it's just he's not necessarily all that bad off. It's just he's getting there, like he's deteriorating a bit, but he's just at the beginning stages.
The fact that
and there are times that you can have good days and bad days. Like I helped my aging grandmother whenever, like towards the end of her life, and there were some times where she was able to kind of get around without her oxygen, but like it was maybe for like 5-10 minutes.
Yeah, I've worked a little over a year with some in assisted living and memory care, dementia, and things like that. So I'm familiar with that. But I just think that, kind of like Steven says, he's a showman. Of course, it's an act. Just the character of John Hammond. Yeah,
and that was my feeling as well for this one.
Yeah. So I didn't mean to jump through that entire scene right just like that, but
no, it's fine.
I didn't know if we were going to have the frames for it, because you see him, he gets up with the cane. And he gets the dossiers, and he leaves the cane behind, and he walks by holding on to Ian's arm. And then after that, he just is up and about without any kind of assistance. So that caught my eye.
He's like, oh, I'm going to send a group of people out. And Ian's like, who are these crazy people? Something like that.
It's like, who are the three people you convinced?
Yeah, here he goes. He goes walking around the room.
He's got his cane. And now he hasn't. Now, the one thing he's left out the whole thing about his company sending people there too, which why didn't he tell him? Did he have a good reason not to tell him about that they were on their way as well? Like, I know he tells Ian about how, if we can get just photographic evidence of these dinosaurs alive in their natural habitat, people can leave this place alone. But it's like, why didn't you tell them about Engine showing up there right behind them? Doesn't make a lot of sense to me. Because he told Vince Vaughn. It's like, okay.
Yeah.
Why'd you leave them in the dark?
I think the specific reason why he left him in the dark was because he knew if there were going to be other people coming in behind him, he would probably be like, heck no, I'm nowhere near. If Sarah might be there, I feel sorry for her. I ain't doing it.
Yeah, this entire film is basically like really good, well shot sequences are actually interesting, linked together by very awkward plot conveniences.
Mm-hmm.
Janet's back. We have to start over, apparently.
Oh,
okay. Let's go back.
Roll
it.
Okay, rewind.
I do also really like.
Wait, how far back? All 65 million years?
That's gonna be quite a rewind.
Let me pull up the beginning. Pull up that movie.
I really like when Hammond tells him,
I
know what you're thinking. I'm making all the same mistakes again. A very Jeff Goldblum tone. He goes, "Oh no, you're making all new ones."
Yeah.
Right. It's just like, no. You're messing up all over again. Just different this time.
You're just sending people to the.
He says, if you want
dinosaur
something like wanting to leave your name on something is fine, but stop putting it on other people's headstones.
Oh yeah.
No, I'm not going to go, and I'm going to convince the other people not to go.
Right.
And Hammond is like, she came to me.
Like, sure she did.
It's like, who? It's like, leave it to you to have associations, even liaisons with. And he's like, oh no, you contacted Sarah.
My girlfriend, who I haven't seen in 6 months.
It's a rescue mission now.
My side piece.
Right? The one thing I don't like is how much hate he gets here. It's like, dude, he was almost eaten by a dinosaur. Like, yeah, he's going to have some PTSD. Give the man a break. Like, his daughter is like, you're never around. And like, his girlfriend's like, I never see you. It's just like,
I mean, I kind of get it a little bit just because they weren't there to experience it. It's like it's that kind of like shit. Like, okay, like Hammond is obviously very friendly with him. It's because he has a little bit of that shared experience with it, whereas all the other people, it's almost like there's a bit of disbelief still in them. They're like, well, we haven't seen it yet, so they haven't experienced that same fear and awe of seeing dinosaurs. It's still kind of foreign to them at this point. Although when you've got a bit of a case with Julianne Moore's character because she is there. She just hasn't been in danger yet, I guess.
Yes.
Yeah, in the movies, Hammond is portrayed as kind of, manipulating people.
Oh yeah, well, he's very much. He's a salesman.
Very much.
He's a salesman.
In the book, he's very nasty.
Yeah, he's a pretty slimy guy in that.
Yeah.
Also,
I think in the Lost World, I read, isn't Dodson like more of a character in the Lost World, but they kind of left him. I know they tried to. That's what they were trying to do with Dominion, is bring him back, which nobody gave a crap.
Yeah.
But
I
heard he's a bigger character in that book.
I would like to have this camper van.
Oh yeah,
that's pretty dope. I like that.
I forgot to ask earlier. His nephew took over the company, right?
Basically, yeah.
So he was there signing papers for that. Why were Hammond's grandkids there? Does that mean by the end of the film their dad is T-Rex food?
I don't think that's their dad. I think that's their uncle.
Okay.
Yeah. I have a feeling that they're... Granted, I haven't watched the first movie in like 10 years plus, but I feel like their parents are like passed away or something. Like they're not in the picture, and like their grandfather was the one technically raising them. That was my understanding in my brain.
It also, I mean, it could have been a matter of, okay, if like they're taking control there, it's possible they had to be present because they probably inherit something from this company and his name, and it's possible they would have to be there for that. I mean, I have no idea what the parents are. I mean, they're basic. I mean, I think the movie they just have him there for a bit of a reunion more than anything. But I mean, you could reason it out, I guess, to a certain degree.
I'm looking to see if they have the same name or their characters have the same name or a different last name, but I can't find them.
Oh, are you talking about the
America says
the nephew
the
and
kids.
Talking about the nephew and
America
the
says
grandkids.
the parents were actually
Yeah,
getting a divorce in the first movie, so.
Oh,
But
okay.
still, that doesn't
Okay.
explain where they're. Which parent are they staying with? Who's in charge of these children?
Well,
Well,
the,
it could be,
the
staying
nephew
with
is named Peter Ludlow. That's the name of the
Yeah.
nephew.
Okay.
So
Anyway.
he's like,
I
They're
think Lex and
cousins.
Tim don't have a last name. They're just mononyms.
no, they just
Like
Lexington.
Madonna.
Yep.
You got this guy, Eddie, who, as far as I'm concerned, is the hero of the movie.
He was the only competent one.
He's
And
a good character,
I was
and they
so
did him
upset
dirty.
when he died. I was like, he's the only one who has 2 brain cells to rub
What's-
together, and he died.
What's so upsetting is okay. Look, dinosaur kills are cool. We all know that, and
Yeah.
but they give like, as far as just the visual aspect of it, the coolest kill happens to him. But it's like, why did you have it happen to him? It's like he's
Yeah.
the last person I'd want that. And while he's saving them, and I know we'll get to that part later, but I'm like, you do that to a character we hate, not
Yeah.
someone who's actually really good. That's horrible.
Yeah.
I mean, it's okay. I mean, yeah, you
And
can
look
kill
who
a-
it
you can kill a
is.
character we like, but not. Gosh, you gave him the most horrifying death of all. Gosh.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Vince Vaughn in a role that
Vince
I don't
Vaughn.
actually want to punch him in. I actually
well,
kind of
Really?
like
I
his character.
completely forgot about his character. Like, whenever I first saw him, like here, I was like, wait a second, he's in this movie. I completely erased his character from my mind.
I just think it's funny they
gets
found an
people
actor
killed
who's
in this
about
movie,
who's
though.
actually a little taller than Jeff Goldblum, because they're both pretty
Yeah.
tall guys.
Yeah, a lot
Goldblum's
of
about 6'3".
His character
6'4"-ish.
gets people killed,
a lot of people get other people killed in this movie. I can't hold that against
but
them.
he specifically takes out bullets from what's his name's gun that,
Mhm.
and it gets
Then
people
the
killed.
dumbest thing, it's like one of the dumbest parts. It's like, why'd you do that?
Yeah, he could have
That
just
was
taken them.
stupid.
Instead, he got like pliers and pulled the let out. But yeah, I mean, but it's in his character. It fits a extremist guy who like believes
He's
What
what we would
nature
call
over
today a liberal.
Mhm. Well, he is an
Look, it's-
environmentalist. He belongs to a group called Earth First,
Yeah.
Yeah,
which that sounds great.
it's Roman's.
obviously.
It's Roman's favorite character. Roman doesn't like kids in movies.
Her whole. I didn't like her. Even when I was a kid watching this, I remember the only redeeming quality I thought that she had was the scene that you hate, but I really enjoyed her gymnastics scene, and that was the only redeeming quality. I was like, I really wish she would have gotten eaten by a raptor or something. Like, why couldn't she have gotten eaten?
And let's
She
let's
poked her
be
head
honest
through a
here
wall.
about this young girl. You know, like a lot of liberals always say, like, well, if this came out today, then people would flip out over X. And I'm like, honestly, this might be the one movie they could make that argument. It's like, she's not mixed at all. And it's like, is it his adopted daughter? Because they never make the relationship other. I mean, it's like it's father daughter. Is it biological daughter? Is she adopted? It's. I mean, I
we
would
never see
assume
her
it's his
mom.
biological daughter, but I mean, we never need the mom. And I'm like, okay, that's
Yeah.
all
Apparently,
right,
she
fine.
just dropped her kid
You-
off
And
and
they
went
even
to Paris.
the funny is, like, they even pointed out in the movie because like Eddie asked Vince Vaughn, he's like, "Do you see any family resemblance here?" And I'm like, "Yeah." Why do you have to? It's like pointing it out's not making it better.
Did y'all think it was weird that he called her a goddess?
A little.
A
Yeah.
little.
I've
Yeah.
seen that some like dads that adore their daughters. I've seen that
Yeah, they're
before.
bad
It,
dads.
it was really weird. I remember thinking that was weird. Granted, I don't have a great relationship with my dad. He wasn't in the picture, but like even my like small brain at the time was like, that's kind of weird.
Yeah.
But I
Also,
can't
when
say
you
much because my
realize,
mom compared me to Jesus Christ one time. So
Wow.
Oh,
especially
wow.
weird when you realize at least 2 times he uses it as a manipulation tactic.
Mhm.
Mhm.
In this, he uses it to try to convince her everything's okay, and then later on he does it in a good type of manipulation tactic to like reassure her and everything. So that kind of gets passed, but he's clearly not a good dad.
No.
Yeah, not a good dad. I think
He's
his
moseying around and
his parenting is like, oh, life will find a way.
Yeah.
You know, just-
Makes sense.
he
I
imposes
have-
chaos theory on her.
yeah.
I guess my only like I'm trying to root for him a little bit because like he went through some
Oldest frame,
stuff
by the
and
way.
like that messes
Oldest
with
frame.
you.
See what now?
Like all the stuff that he went through, like it kind of can mess with like you a lot.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Well, and it doesn't sound like
Wait
the
a-
mother that she has is all that much better, because he says, I'm not the one who dumped you here and split for Paris, and I'm like, wow. I mean, I guess she's
Right.
more or less well adjusted, but it's like, gosh, it's apparently she's got some bad parents. But I wanted to hold
So-
this shot because these islands,
Right? I'm trying to figure out like
they show on the map. You might be able to scrub forward one more so you can get a little bit closer on it. But the islands say Las Cinco Muertes, which in a couple of minutes, like the captain of the boat
five
says that, it says Las Cinco. Okay, it's right there on the map, and the captain of the boat who speaks Spanish tells Vince Vaughn is like, they call the islands Las Cinco Muertes, and he says like Las Cinco Muertes, and I was like, it's on your map, you idiot.
Yeah.
It's like why is that a revelation to you? It's right freaking there. It's
like,
on the
hold on,
map.
hold on.
the thing that I was really happy about with the Spanish is I've been practicing my Spanish like every day a little bit, and I was like, I understood what they were saying. Yes, I did need subtitles.
I ended up looking up these names and translating them, and some of them, the direct translations don't really work. The top one is basically like,
which I would assume is Island of Death.
yeah, the top
Mhm.
one is kind of it's derivative of the word for butcher, so
Okay.
Butcher Island, I guess. I don't remember the two bottom ones, but Sorna, it was like directly translated was like sarcasm. So that direct translation didn't work.
It's
I
an
ended up-
island.
Different whole. I feel
I
like
ended
that's
up
the wrong
looking it up.
translation.
Well,
I'm
it
looking it up now.
also is situational on meanings. Like I said, it's the direct translations doesn't work. But apparently, the island.
Oh, I got irony.
And
they-
Tacano just means like mean, I think.
Yeah, and it's based on a Native American myth about a warrior facing different executions on the 5 islands: burning, drowning, crushing, hanging, and beheading. And looking at the direct translations versus that, I can kind of see where.
Well, I know
it went
the
wrong, but-
island, the PENA is translates to sorrow, so the island of sorrow.
Yeah. But yeah, that's apparently the official thing, is why they're the 5 deaths, because it's about a story, a guy facing 5 deaths.
Well, with all the
I
money
just had
I'm
to
still
dig
trying to
into
figure
that.
out where
all the
in
money
the world like this
Hammond wasted
actually
here, they call them the
is.
5 debts.
Because like if this is, I mean, it actually.
Took me a second.
Can we go back to the map? I think I know kind of where it's supposed to be. So I'm looking, and one more. Yeah, that little
There's the
peninsula,
green
that little island. It is right off of San Jose in Costa Rica. So I know. So that is off of Costa Rica. Why
Right.
they think it's so close to San Diego, I don't understand.
Remotely close.
Like I said,
Like
I mean,
And
a flight
little
from
boat-
San Diego to Costa Rica is 12 hours.
Yeah.
And if they went everything by boat, that's like a couple days.
and
Can
they
you
didn't
imagine
notice that
going
the
that
kid
far
was
in that?
stowaway that whole time.
Yeah, Jacob, I was thinking the exact same thing.
It's
That's
like,
a ferry boat. So that's
what
why
if
I'm
you hit
thinking
a
they must have
storm?
flown
It's
and
like,
then taken that one from Costa Rica, because that doesn't make sense to be out in the open ocean.
That
for
would make more sense, but they don't show that. It's like goes
Yeah.
from their camp in California to
Heck,
they're
San
in the middle of
Jose
the
is
ocean.
8 hours by flight.
And like you said,
you know the
Mando,
way
his
to
daughter
San
was
Jose?
hidden away that entire trip. Nobody thought
Yeah,
to check
like-
on their equipment. And if they flew, keep
Where
this in
was
mind.
she hiding?
If they flew, would they have the vehicles have been in a pressurized cabin? I guess they would have had to have been, otherwise like fluids and things would burst and leak. But
Yeah, probably. They probably would have taken an aircraft carrier or something, some sort of big. I wasn't in the Air Force or Navy, so Roman's probably going to be upset at my turns. Like, that's not what that is. But basically, the big airplanes that carry our equipment, stuff like that. Boeing.
I don't know. I was
don't know.
trying to figure that out in my head, because it had to
And
be
here's
pressurized.
the thing.
Otherwise,
This
she
is
would
only
have
the
died.
second strangest thing to happen inside of a boat. It's how
Yeah.
she stayed hidden. It's only the
Yeah.
second strangest. It gets weirder later.
And,
where
I
was she
imagine
hiding?
that camper has a bathroom, but they don't really show that it does. So
I would think it does. I mean, I was about to say you could go off the side, but I'm like, that's harder for a woman. That's a little tougher. Got to get lowered down in a shark
Like,
cage.
where
or
was she
something.
going to the bathroom?
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
Where was she getting like? Did they just have the food? Was electricity in the RV beforehand? Like, I have questions.
I like this part. They're like, I've got this tranquilizer. It has this certain. It's the most powerful neurotoxin, and it'll drop an animal before it knows it's hit. And he's like, and Malcolm's like, is there an antidote? No.
Like, what? You mean if you shot yourself in the foot? Don't do that. You'd be dead before you realize you had an accident. His lines, I know. He's got good lines. I like it.
Deadpan, don't do that.
Don't
Yeah.
do that.
Right? He's the only competent person in this entire group of misfits, and
Yeah.
he's the one who dies.
Boo.
Yeah.
And yes, Stephen, we are suggesting that this masterpiece has issues.
Yeah.
Yes.
Just 3 or 4-ish.
Yeah. Just a few.
Well, even like when I first watched this as a kid, I had questions like that. I was like, wait a second, that doesn't make sense. Even to my like 5 or 6-year-old brain, I'm like,
I mean, the first time I was watching this, I was just there for the dinosaurs. I was just
yeah.
like, what are the dinosaurs going to do? And then I actually paid attention to the script and the plot and a little bit more the next couple times. And I was like, oh, this isn't that good. I will give it this much credit, though. The musical score in this is distinct. It's distinct from the first and good.
Yes.
There is a
Yeah.
good musical score
Yeah.
in this movie. I'll give John Williams that bit of credit. Him and
oh yeah,
Steven
the
Spielberg
music was
decided,
amazing.
Make it a little different, make it distinct, and I'm like, it's a good musical score. I like it.
And here we go. This guy didn't look at. I guess he didn't look at maps because this guy
Right?
tells him
It
the
just
name of the
seems
islands. It's like,
strange.
oh, really? What is it called again?
It's like,
The
I see
5 deaths. What?
The 5 deaths.
It's on the
also-
map in the bus.
It's also the movie trope of the conversation you would have had hours ago happening right now.
Yeah.
Like when when they're getting this ferryman and they're like, yes, we want to go here. Like the conversation should have been, you want to go here? Yes, we want to go here. I don't want to take you here. Why don't you want to take us here? Because it's called the 5 deaths, and I don't want to die because I've got a kid.
I mean,
Copa is asking a question.
you could. I mean, you could actually do it in such a way where he would wait, but you would have. I feel like you'd have to show him knowing beforehand, like, I'm not going to take him to this island, but I want to go part of the way just to make sure they have to pay me. But then about 3/4 of the way there, I'm gonna be like, okay, look, this is where I'm going to drop you off. But it's like you're going to pay me,
Yeah,
but
right.
this is where I'm dropping you off. It's like you could have pulled that off a little bit, but no, we're not going to do that.
Yeah,
we'll just
right.
say, oh, he's
Copa's
only just now
asking a
realizing
question
where
here.
they're going. It's like, uh-oh.
How come I'm never drunk on stream? Well, I'm like an elf. I don't feel alcohol like normal people.
It only is a slight tingle in the fingers.
Just a slight tingle. Yeah.
But I'll say this: Spielberg
Janet makes
definitely
a good
has
point.
an impression of what seaboat captains are supposed to look like. Because this is Quint but Spanish.
You're right.
Yeah, this
Eloquent.
guy looks familiar.
He does.
A little
I
bit.
can't place what I've seen him in. But he played a bad guy, I think.
Say, I'm actually looking him up. His name is Enrique Cardoso. I don't know what he's done. Oh no, that's his name in the movie.
Okay.
I don't know who plays him. So I remember the lady on the radio going, Enrique?
Right?
He
I'm
played El
like,
Guapo. No, I'm kidding.
Could he be El Guapo? That would actually make me
Guapo.
happy.
¿Dónde está Enrique? Where is he? I don't know. Where is he? Where? I'm looking for him too. That whole radio thing. I was just like,
I don't remember much about the book, but I think if they had gone more book accurate, they wouldn't have been able to really drop them off at the beach. Because if I remember correctly, it's an exploded volcano, and the
Oh
only
my
way to get
gosh.
to the
Yeah,
interior,
there's-
into the
Oh,
interior is
wow.
through caves. There's no
Yeah, and
waterways
cliffs
other
and
than
stuff.
caves.
I might blow everyone's mind here, but the boat captain is the guy who kills Tony Montana in Scarface. Yeah, he's Gino. His name's Gino Silva. He plays that guy. He's in the movie A Man Apart. He's got a nice little
Oh,
filmography.
yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
A Man
he's
Apart,
in a
that's what it
few-
was from.
He's in a few movies. But yeah, he's if you've watched Scarface, the guy with the dark sunglasses that comes behind him with a shotgun, That's him. He put down Tony Montana.
And what do they do here? They get on this island with large predatory animals.
Well,
And
I mean,
they start
I know their
screaming.
plan was to stay on the rim of the island because
Yeah,
they're like the carnivores are centralized. But I'm like, yeah, but a lot of these herbivores
Hang on
are
a
pretty
second, guys.
dangerous too.
I have raccoons in the yard with my chickens. Hang on a second.
Oh no!
All right. Yeah, that also doesn't kind of make sense either because carnivores eat the herbivores.
Exactly.
So that's their buffet. So they will obviously always, sometimes at least, enter that area. I mean, that's what that guy
it's no
says earlier about a
guarantee of
game trail.
safety. And of course,
Yeah,
the first freaking herbivore you encounter is a stegosaurus, which
Those
is actually
raccoons.
pretty dangerous. Stegosaurus look pretty. Let's get that It's at that whip tail with the spikes at the end. It's like that's pretty
Right.
dangerous.
I can see
And
where they
should have
would, like,
freaking
'cause-
killed her.
right. There are certain animals, like if you're comparing like certain carnivores like lions that have like territory, they won't really leave their territory unless there are no animals there for them to hunt, and then they
Yeah,
move
right.
territories after that. So I can understand why they would think they're fine with if they know where the T-Rex's territory is at the moment, but easily if they're chasing something, they're going to go into other people's territory. But I can see
Yeah.
the mindset behind that.
I do like the bit when he yells out Sarah Harding, her last name. And he just turns
How
out
many
like,
Sarahs do you
How many
think are
Sarahs
out
you think are on this island? That is pretty funny. And Eddie here
And
is
look,
just like, wow.
here's the ooh and ah. Oh,
That's how it starts. Then there was this running and screaming.
yeah.
Mm-hmm. It's like, this is what happened last time. Nobody's paying attention to what he's saying. And I'm
No.
like, he's telling you, I've been to this thing before. I know what happens. Please listen. And they're like, pretty dinosaur.
It's like,
I
that's
know
the-
they're staring at the dinosaurs, but shouldn't she be standing just on the other side of that
I know.
stump to the
I
front right of
know.
them?
And not only that, but she had like, for one thing, Hammond had said that her whole motto was observation without interference, which she reiterates
yeah.
just before she goes up to a Stegosaurus baby and just has to pet it. And,
And
I'm like,
and two,
And
they're
they're like,
talking.
why are they?
They're almost yelling at each other. This whole scene, like, is that not interfering?
Right?
well, he
And
brings
also,
up
like-
the Heisenberg principle about how it's like to observe is to interfere. It's like just by being there, you're interfering.
I hate that it perpetuates the white girl trope of doesn't matter how vicious the animal is, white girl's gonna go up and touch it. Like,
Yeah.
come on, y'all. Just because I would go touch it doesn't mean that all white girls will go touch it. My husband just heard me say that, and he's looking at me like, mm-hmm, mm-hmm,
Yes, you
mhm.
would. All of you, without fail. Ladies in the chat, would you touch it? The dinosaur, I mean.
That's what she said.
America,
Yeah.
she did pet the baby. That's because Malcolm's even got the line was, oh, she's touching it. She's always got to touch it. You say, don't touch it. And she's touching it.
Oh, so yeah, I do have the
I mean,
Lost World. I was
she
wondering
says
if I had
something-
it. I don't have the 1st one.
I've tracked predators since I was 14. Well, then you should know what happens if you touch the baby.
Right?
Exactly.
And this is basically like a precursor to what happens later on. Like, it's just, you know what's gonna happen. Somebody touches the baby, and then everything goes wrong.
That's right, Copa. White girl thinks Stegosaurus is black hair.
And maybe this is just sexism coming out, but is it just me, or did she just really start off as insufferable, like already ranked 10?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's like she's annoying.
Because she was
Pretty
standing there,
much
they're
from the
yelling for her.
outset.
She didn't even bother just saying like, "Hi."
It's like, gosh.
And look at this Stan Winston puppet. Look at that.
Mhm.
It's amazing.
Yeah, it's like, I mean,
That
it's
first
far-
CG shot didn't
good
hold
looking.
up quite as well as some of them, but the puppetry always holds up.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. And look, I get the temptation. It looks cute.
It's not a
But-
petting zoo.
It's like, look at her. Look at that idiot.
I don't care if it doesn't have sharp teeth; it can crush your hand till it falls off with its
It has
mouth.
parents and it's like, okay, if you've observed animals in general, animals are very protective of their young. You can get in
Yeah.
a lot of trouble messing with
Not-
the
but
with the cubs.
these are also parents that can squash you into jelly.
Yeah, exactly.
Mhm. So I was able to find my copy of The Lost World, and first thing, it has the map.
Mhm.
Ooh.
So I don't know if you want to like
Which of the
blow it up or not.
Muertes?
No, it's just got the main island on there, but it's got all around it the different heights for the dinosaurs that we see. Like a Tyrannosaurus is 42, I guess, inches, feet.
I think that would
Just
be feet
it just
long.
has
I think that would be feet long.
Okay,
They
'Cause, like,
definitely
it
aren't
does- it
40,
just has the little
42 feet
asterisk.
tall. They're definitely not that tall. They're about,
right.
I think, 13 to 17-ish feet tall. I mean, granted, they made them bigger in the movies because of the spectacle of it, which that's fine, but an actual T-Rex is not, it's not Godzilla sized.
Also, let's face it, a log that has the
These are.
inside rotted out is going to just be splinters if a Stegosaurus tail does
Right.
that.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
She's mush.
And she, like, I don't like that they let her duck under that tail whip. I'm like, okay, you're making it harder for me to believe that she could survive this. It's like the spikes to the tree. It's like, okay, that's fine. It would have broke, but fine. It's like, no,
She
that
would,
thing tried to whip her
yeah.
and
She would
just
not
ducked under it in
survive
time.
the
I'm like,
Ghost in the
nah,
Darkness.
you ain't gonna be able to time that the first time.
She would not survive the Ghost in the Darkness.
Nope.
Oh, and because I'm a random factoid, because I'm a camera nerd, I was looking at her camera thinking, why are they using digitals? Because the camera bodies looked very much like the first generation of like Nikon digital stuff, which would have been terrible images. But I actually looked it up. That's a Nikon F5 film camera. So
yeah, this is right when that starts to bridge over to digital.
Yeah, because I
And
thought
it
they made a
kinda looks
mistake and gave
similar.
her a physical or a digital camera that then played a film rewind sound. But no, they actually got that right.
Which I could see him doing that for like a movie like this, like giving them like the best of technology at the time for newer technology, I guess.
I mean,
Oh,
it's
look,
not
they're on indoor.
horrible.
Yeah, it's indoor. Luke is back there somewhere.
Watch out for speeder bikes.
I'll give him this much. These shots in the I mean, this is the same forest.
Yeah.
I think that George Lucas used for Return of the Jedi. In California, the redwoods, whatnot. It looks great. I mean,
it does.
It's a great setting. It's a great setting. And here she is, being annoying again.
Annoying.
Talking about how she can disprove
like,
all the theories
"There's a
about
fire,
T-Rexes being
somebody-
bad parents or something. And I'm like,
Somebody
And I
started
think
a fire.
at the time that this came out, they had already disproven that. I think, as far
I
as
think
the
so.
scientific,
Yeah.
like
I mean,
they had already
that's
realized
fairly
that
typical of movies to where they're always a little bit behind because it's like they find something new that's like, okay, let's incorporate that into the story as though, and maybe we can just pretend this is set a few months before that or something. I'm like,
And
because
she's
they
like,
had a
"I
similar
just-
thing in Twister with various things about tornadoes. So I was like, that's fine.
I just wanted to make dinner. Oh, great. This is not a vacation.
So if
Like-
she has to make dinner on a fire, then that definitely doesn't have a bathroom because they would have a stove before they had a bathroom or something. Because you can dig a hole.
electricity.
Hey, Gap.
This whole scene, I was like, what? One, I remember those screen doors when I stayed in a camper for a little while when we would go camping. Two, where did she think that they are?
I'll bring that up later about the screen door here.
Yeah, I think I know about what.
Yep.
What screen door?
The look on his face is the look I had when I saw this scene. It's just like, what?
There's no family resemblance there.
Oh, also one more camera nitpick is there's no way that either of them would be running around with what looks like a fixed 50mm lens and not be switching lenses out because you're not zooming in on anything. You're not getting extra wide shots or anything. That's basically just like what your human eye sees.
Coming from a photographer, and you're taking pictures of animals, you want the longest lens on there so you don't get close.
Right. Or you have like a bag with the different lenses. Cause like for my wedding, like I had a friend of mine who was a photographer and she brought a bag and she switched different lenses out for different shots, different angles, different things. And it's just
I mean, ideally, I know he was doing mostly video, but ideally to me, he would have had his base fixed lens. It's fast. It can do low light and still get very crisp images without a lot of blur.
Yeah.
And then he would have a totally separate camera body with his long lens attached. That way you can immediately switch between them as you need them. That would make it a lot more believable. But again, that's just a camera nitpick because I used to do photography.
Yeah. Nitpick.
We have another little line here where Eddie is displaying competence.
To see some of your pictures.
I'll show you sometime.
Yeah.
We have another line here where Eddie is showing his competence versus the stupidity of everyone else because Malcolm's complaining that the satellite phone's not working and he's hitting it and stuff. And he's like, violence and technology, not good bedfellows. It's like, dude, are you going to break, your communication to people away from the island? That's kind of stupid. It's like, I know it's funny when the civvies hit technology to make it work, but you're supposed to be smart.
Right. I love how also like he tells him whenever he's trying to contact somebody, he's like, I put the number's like, I forget, like when you first open the thing or something. And he's like, what?
Yeah. And make sure to flip the switch on.
Yeah.
Right.
So I'm curious
come on.
If the problem he has to wait for a better signal, so I'm assuming that they have to wait for a satellite to get to a better position. Why would using a different satellite radio built into the camper make any difference?
Right.
But again,
unless the camper has a better satellite, but it might have a better dish on it, but
the argument could be made it's higher power because it's got that, but still.
Yeah, it's not like a battery packed power. It's like diesel power or something.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people will think we're nitpicking this movie. Some movies deserve to be nitpicked.
Yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't, like, us nitpicking doesn't mean that the movie still isn't vastly better than everything else out there. It's just we're pointing out the things that everyone notices.
If it was one of the other sequels, the stream would be a lot longer.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, I mean, if this was really terrible, we would be ragging on entire scenes the entire time. And like I said earlier, it's really good scenes and sequences that are competently or even well done, held together with like duct tape and chewing gum. And I'm going to point at that chewing gum and laugh.
I was waiting. I was like, is that a reference to the chewing gum?
Yes. I couldn't believe why would she want you to spit in her hand? Like, what?
I'm not gonna lie though, that's probably like one of my favorite gags in the movie. I laugh when I see that. I'm like, that's kind of funny. He just spits in her hand. Part of me wonders if that was improvised, if that was not intentional, like in the
probably.
script. Maybe Vince Vaughn
I imagine it was probably improv.
He's like, oh, this will be funny. He's like, she's wearing gloves. It's fine.
I think she's woke, this character in this movie, before woke was a thing.
Kind of.
She's the proto woke.
I appreciate you coming in with your white knight, but I don't need you right now.
I mean, she's not third wave woke, but maybe like second wave.
Yeah. I think she's a proto feminist.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like she at least appreciates the white knightness, but she's like, but
I still think she is completely disregarding Dr. Malcolm's like previous experience with these animals. It's like, yeah, I was on the island where everyone basically almost got eaten by these things. You would think that you would have a little bit more respect for the person who is your senior when it comes to these animals, and two, the person with the absolute most experience with these animals. Like,
at least there's no way you can argue that she's like the opposite of a Mary Sue, basically.
Yeah.
She's the complete opposite. Mm-hmm. No competence whatsoever.
I like when he tells her this is tall
she has
people
more
talk.
Competence than the hippie dude that the other team got.
Just situational competence. The way very low.
He tells her to go outside. He's like,
and then she goes, and he's like, "Wait a minute, don't you go out there?
Don't go outside. It's
I don't think it was
out there."
I don't think it was only because of the danger. I think he realized he was actually about to have a real meaningful conversation about their relationship, and he didn't want to. So he kept her back inside to use this as a distraction.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, given the person he'd be talking to, that's understandable.
But just in general, it's very clear that by the end of this movie, they shouldn't have kind of any resolution with their relationship. By the end of this movie, they should realize that they don't belong together, because they're two people that want to be in a relationship, but want to be so independent from each other that they don't give any concern about the other person's feelings or what they're doing in their life. That's not a relationship. You're just hooking up.
Yeah.
Honestly,
You're
you could
friends
have
with
just
benefits.
you could have just written the script as these two are friends, and it would be the same movie.
Yeah,
It'd
Right?
be the same movie. They're friends. That's like there's nothing between them.
They're
There's
friends
really
that
no
bang sometimes.
romantic chemistry between them. So it's just like you could just say this is a friendship. This is a buddy of his, somebody who maybe like a student
FCs.
or someone who went to a lecture of his or something.
Yeah. So here you have the engine team coming in,
Mm-hmm.
and they're like, "Why are they coming in?" And then
Yeah, they're under the impression that Hammond sent them.
this
so
guy
why are they
here,
sending two of them?
this guy here knows that there's another team coming in. Why didn't he say anything now?
Yeah, I'm still struggling with what was the secret on Hammond's and his part. Why?
And also, there's no way that lens is zooming in to read anything. Sorry. I have to stop.
That lens.
You're not a
it
You're not a
would look
photographer. You're a
smaller than
photographer.
It would look smaller than that. They'd look like little specks on the picture.
Part of me wishes though they had been playing Flight of the Valkyries.
I was thinking that too.
That'd have been awesome.
Because it's like just straight out of Vietnam, Hueys and Chinooks.
That'd been kind of great. At least one of the helicopters. Just one. You don't need to do all of them. Just one. That is one big pile of film.
No, and just to be clear, YouTube, we are saying InGen, the name of the company in the movie, not a slang term for a Native American.
Oh, I was like, where's he going with this?
Oh, yep. I forgot that was a slang term for them.
That dang engine.
Yeah, that's good. That is one big pile of film.
Yeah, so I guess everybody else thinks it's like reinforcements or something.
Well, they think that Hammond's like
And
like
wait,
she's like,
wait.
Doesn't he trust us? We only just got here.
How
What's going
could-
on?
The people in this helicopter not see this big thing right there.
That's a really good point.
Yeah,
Did you
'cause
say
they
later
don't
on that they're
discover
not
they're
alone?
there for a little while. Yeah, that's true.
I
They
didn't
don't know
even
till
think of
later that evening that there's other people.
You're
See,
thinking
it's
too hard
spelled
about
INGEN.
You're gonna get
YouTube,
deemed for
see,
Jurassic
right there.
Park.
I do like all these little custom vehicles.
Boy, they went hard for the merchandising to kids on those vehicle designs.
Oh yeah.
And also, I just got to point out that Humvee that jumps over just for no reason except an action shot. That is absolutely a effed up front end and probably some broken ball joints. And
Right.
Yep.
I'm
It's for
realizing now
looks.
this guy's married. Poor wife. I don't know who
Yeah.
she is.
Oh,
I feel sorry for her. Just
I noticed that too.
I
feel
love this
sorry for her
part.
already.
This is a great part.
oh yeah,
And it introduces my favorite character in the whole movie.
Yeah. Whose
He's
last
like,
name I can
This
never
is a good
pronounce.
place for a camp. And he's like,
Cancel that order.
yes. Are you trying to set up a
Hey,
smorgasbord or
Like a base camp or a buffet.
or a buffet?
this is not the first time we've seen him, is it? He looks familiar.
He's been in a lot of stuff. This guy's actually a fantastic actor.
Yeah.
In lots of movies.
Pete Pistol.
Pascuala, I don't know how you pronounce it. He passed away not too long ago, but
Yeah.
he's
He was Kaiser Sose.
well, no, he was Kaiser Soze's lawyer. He's Kaiser
Usual
Soze's lawyer.
Suspects.
Yep.
Yeah, he's the
Lawyer, right,
lawyer. He's a Kobayashi. That's what they call him. But he's in The Town. He's in
Kobayashi.
Inception. He's in. If you want to see the best role he's ever been in, watch In the Name of the Father with Daniel Day-Lewis. Phenomenal film.
Another good one is
He was up for an Oscar for that.
What's the name of that? Brassed Off. That's a good one. It's got Ian. It's got Obi-Wan in it.
Yeah, this
It's
guy.
about
He was a phenomenal actor. I know
Yeah.
Steven Spielberg really liked him. Spielberg liked him a lot. I think they also I think this movie because Spielberg did not really enjoy his experience making this movie, but he really liked this guy, and he cast him in Amistad, also, which that came out this later that year, I think. But yeah, he's a dang good actor. He was.
Yeah. But yeah, his payment is the right to hunt the bull tyrannosaur.
Mm-hmm.
I like that Copa, Pistol Pete. We'll just call him Pistol Pete.
There we go. From now on, he's Pistol Pete.
And he never really does go into why. And it could just be he's a big game hunter and he wants the biggest game. But the way he delivers some of his lines,
he's a hunter and he loves hunting. I think that's
there
all
it
it really is.
That's the front
I
end.
bet that hurt.
Oh yeah. I don't know. I kind of read that the kind of the way he gave his lines regarding hunting the T-Rex, it was like more kind of like he got into the story about the guy that climbed Everest without oxygen, not to like
this is his
risk
Everest,
death,
basically.
but to live. But it also would, if you hunt your Everest, to use that, there's nowhere else but down. So it's kind of like he realized like this is his final hunt, and then he's going to have no challenges. His joy is going to be gone.
He's kind of basically filling in Muldoon's role from the first Jurassic Park. He's kind of that, but he's I guess you're meant to think for most of the movie he's kind of a darker version of him in a way, because it's like you could argue whether or not what he's doing is good or bad. It's morally gray at best that he's trying to hunt a T-Rex, but
I like how he's trying to pronounce these names of the dinosaurs. He's
just like, whatever.
Throws it away, and the Friar Tuck.
Yeah, I like the Friar Tuck. And then the Pompadour.
And the Pompadour. The Pompadour.
Elvis. But yeah, they're just basically trying to snatch up dinosaurs and catch them so they can take them back to the zoo.
So I'm wondering how much of that camera that's following them, I'm wondering how much of that camera shake was actually happening, or if it was more stabilized and they added it in post. Because can you imagine trying to composite all those dinosaurs with that much camera shake happening?
That would be a pain.
And it's done mostly very well for most of the shots.
Yeah.
And this guy is actually an archaeologist, or not an archaeologist, a paleontologist.
Yep. He's an actual one.
Boy, how much are you getting paid to get that close to something that, as we can see, will launch you through a car?
Right.
If they wanted an actual like animal guy, part of me is a little bitter they didn't get Steve Irwin. How cool would that have been?
That would have been cool.
That would have been amazing. Of course, you couldn't kill him at the end. Then you'd have to let him live. In fact, you'd have to make him the hero.
Yeah.
And let's be honest, that guy that
he'd jump on the back of the T-Rex and
That'd be awesome.
15 guys laying on top of it.
It doesn't need a boat to get to San Diego. Steve Irwin rides that thing to San Diego.
Right.
Everything. 10 out of 10. Best movie.
This was absolutely designed in order to be a toy.
Yeah.
Which my brother had. My brother had this toy.
It's pretty impressive that they actually built it.
Yeah.
Too.
That's true, John A. Douglas. There is a Crocodile Hunter movie.
It looks mostly like there was thought given into what the function would be for each bit of it. So, yeah.
Yeah.
And it was a nifty toy. It was cool. Back when toys actually were made with some care and were pretty cool.
Lasted forever.
So I took them apart and put them back together with parts still missing.
Yeah.
Also, did they ever, I can't remember, explain what he was doing with that little tiny satellite dish? Is he sending video back to Hammond showing that these guys have arrived?
I would think not, just because if that little satellite of his can get back to Hammond, then why can't they call anyone?
That's what I'm wondering.
That'd
the only thing I can figure is he plugs it into his camera.
I'm sorry.
But I don't know. It's just another mystery in this perfect, no holes in the plot story.
It sends it to the cloud.
Yeah.
This right here reminds me of a movie, a John Wayne movie, Atari, or what was it? I think that was it. But they're like, they hunt animals, they capture animals for zoos.
Yeah.
It was a good movie. Good movie. It was a fun movie.
Also, one of these guys in these Jeeps is Peter Stormare, who's
Yeah.
also done a lot of really good
Oh, yeah.
stuff.
I think that's him
Fargo.
in the seat there. I
Yep,
guess
I
that
think
was
so.
your friend back there in the wood chipper.
Yep, there he is. That's Peter Stormare. That's him.
There he is, right there. And there's the pompadour.
Yeah.
That should be the
pull this-
common name for those dinosaurs.
It should be.
I'm all for it.
I would be fine with it. I'm cool.
Oh, I'm sorry. You have to say it. Dinosaur.
Dinosaur.
Even
Yeah.
dinosaurs.
I love how they zoom into their faces and they're like, "This is horrible. This is the most horrible thing I have ever seen."
Like, oh no, they caught animals. It's like, yeah, that happens.
Yeah, everybody's shocked, and he's just the nihilist that he is. He's like, yeah, man's going
This
to
is
do it.
this
Why-
is one of those
Yep,
kind of movie
this is
things where
them.
they
They
assume the
always do
audience
this.
sympathizes, and I'm just like, what's the big deal? I'm a kid, and I'm like, okay, you're catching dinosaurs, so what's the deal? I mean, I guess that I'm older now. It's like I get what they were going for. I'm just like, I still don't care that much. Fine, they caught some
Oh,
dinosaurs.
yes.
I would more look at it like you all are idiots. If y'all think you can do
Right.
these things.
Yeah.
Now, is it just me, or does this print look pretty small? This is
Yeah,
not a
I was-
big print.
Because in the later scene where the T-Rex stomps on someone and like he's like gum sticks to his shoe.
Yeah,
That's
that's
what
like
I
a
thought.
And,
and
like,
like this
he's
print's
like,
maybe
"That's a
3
sh-"
feet. Yeah,
Well,
this
my-
print's like
one might-
3 feet, maybe.
One might be bigger than the other one.
It's possible.
Possible.
I hear some people have that problem.
Yeah.
Don't judge the T-Rex. Come on.
So he gets his big elephant gun.
I looked it up. That's one of 2 custom-made 600 Nitro Express rifles that were made for this film.
I watched
Wow.
Kentucky
And they were fully
Ballistics. These
functional.
things are awesome.
Oh yeah,
Cool.
I'm
are
sure this
cool.
is on his list of things he wants. But apparently Steven Spielberg has one.
I'm pretty
And the
sure
other
Kentucky
one-
Ballistics guy has fired an elephant gun.
Oh, he's fired many.
Yeah, he's
Yeah,
many of them. Yeah.
he's got a few.
The 4-bore is like a,
Oh yeah.
the
Oh,
shell
yeah.
is like an inch in diameter.
It's awesome.
So he's
These are
like,
not
"I'm
big
done.
tracks.
I'm going to go hunt this dinosaur."
To collect my fee, Mr. Ludlow, to collect my fee.
This guy. He's
I
like,
felt no sadness when he yeeted.
no, he's like, they have no fear. of
I didn't
people."
feel sadness. I was bewildered because I don't buy it. Looking at the damage these things did per bite, I'm like, I don't think they'd be able to kill him that
But
way.
remember,
There
they
wasn't
have
enough
a
of 'em.
toxin.
Huh?
They have a toxin in their bite.
Do they mention that in the movie though?
No, but I think they do in the first one. But
I don't
yeah,
think there are copies in the first one.
yeah, there are.
Yeah, there are.
Yeah.
I think so.
When
They
are there
take out
copies in the,
Nedry.
I know there's copies in the first book, but not in the movie.
I don't think they're actually shown, but I think they're shown on like a video or something.
Well, they are because Dennis Nedry gets blinded by one. He falls down the hill, and
Well, no,
then
he gets
copies-
blinded
No,
by a
that- that's a-
Dilophosaurus.
Yeah, that's what I'm
That's
saying.
the
Yeah,
He's
that's-
blinded, but the ones that actually take him out are
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
because he can't see him to run away from him because he's blinded.
Yeah, so
Are
he
you
gets
sure?
eaten.
Not
Yeah.
in the movie.
Mhm.
Not in the movie. The
Mhm.
Dilophosaurus just he blinds him and
the
kills him.
Dilophosaurus gets in the car,
Yeah,
and
it
Nedry
kills
gets
him.
in the car, and then it eats him.
Yeah,
Really?
there's no copies
Yeah.
in the first movie.
Yeah.
Telling you,
I don't know.
they were
I haven't
introduced
seen that
here.
one in longer than I have this one. So
I've watched them all pretty recently. Yeah, I do like it's fun. That's kind of just funny. Look at the way its beak just open shut, open shut. It's like there's nothing fluid about it. It's just very robotic. It's kind of funny looking. I mean, granted, now if they had explained that they had a toxin, then that would
Yeah.
at least show why he's weakening and stuff. So there'd be something to that. But I don't know I don't remember them mentioning it.
And there's the wee baby.
The baby.
You have to see the baby.
The baby.
that's where my brain was.
All Seinfeld references are good.
Yes.
Yeah, this is his little hunting buddy too.
So they get the dinosaur, the baby, and put him somewhere to draw the dinosaur, the big ones too.
I also saw that apparently the noise the baby T-Rex makes is taken from a baby camel.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So
And,
that just makes camels terrifying.
In the book, Ludlow is with them. Is with these two guys when they find the baby. And he trips and falls on it and breaks its leg. So that's how it gets its leg broken.
Oh.
Wow.
And also, let's just go ahead and point out that the T-Rex parents must have been at the bar and had a few too many and had to walk home because this thing cries forever before they show up. But everywhere, yeah, that's right. Yeah, because everywhere else that baby goes, they're instantly right there.
Freaking latchkey kid. Ruin their date night.
And you just turn the music up louder.
Yeah. It's like, oh my gosh, we left him with an Xbox. Just, dude, shut up. And he's marveling over all their technology.
So what's his name here is like, so Hammond said if there was another team, we should do this. And none of them get mad at him. Like,
why didn't you tell us?
Tell us this earlier?
Like when you saw the helicopters flying by, like, oh yeah, actually I was told that they're gonna be coming.
How about these guys?
Yeah, at the very least, Malcolm should have said something. The others, you can kind of believe, are just soft-hearted enough on creatures that they would just go along with it anyway to let them out. But he would be the first one to speak up, and he doesn't.
Yes.
Just keep scrubbing. Just keep scrubbing. Yeah, this is where he's giving his little presentation to, I guess, some engine board members, probably showing them how they can revitalize. Like, apparently this was the first project that Hammond had planned. And
I don't understand. Like, why would he? Like, he's still in the middle of the wilderness. Like, something could easily come and investigate all of the bright lights that are blinding everything.
And it looks like they're on the game trail too. It looks like they're still on the game trail. Like they might not be, but it kind of looks like they are.
But like all of those blinding lights
and all the herbivores,
like a perimeter of people, you know, keeping an eye out.
It's a buffet for all, like any carnivore anywhere is like, oh, there's a shiny light. I smell food.
Great ideas.
So they break out the animals.
Real ingenious move by Vince Vaughn here.
And nothing's locked except for the adult Stegosaurus.
Yeah. These little pen locks on there. It's like, that doesn't seem like all that much. I would think you'd want security to be a little bit tighter. I mean, it's like, okay, you put locks in the cage. Nobody's guarding them? Really? No one's going to guard these cages. Okay, sure. Perfect sense.
So this would make Los Angeles a lot better, wouldn't it? Having dinosaurs right there.
Right.
It would clear up the homeless problem.
It would. The dinos would be super fat.
So the dinosaurs escape and break everything. They specifically go after the communication equipment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it must destroy a lot of the vehicles too. Otherwise they wouldn't have been on foot so much later on. There really is a really good composite shot of the Triceratops walking directly over, behind, and then back in front of the fire right there. It looks fantastic.
Yeah,
it does.
I watched that 4 or 5 times.
I'm still wondering. It's like, okay, they see that giant flash of light.
It's a little bit
the two hunters, and I'm like, you're only just now noticing all this chaos? Really? You weren't hearing this? Okay. All right. I find that a little hard to believe.
Oh yeah.
It's like flashy lights. Like, oh, what's going on over there? It's like, oh, I don't know. Just that's the source of the commotion behind you.
So good.
Yeah, this is a pretty cool shot.
It's a blink and you miss it, little minor thing, but
yeah. And they're sitting in the tree. Oh,
like,
they're sitting in the tree.
Speaking of interrupting date night, the kids are making noise again.
Yeah, and I don't know how this happened, but one of the vehicles gets thrown up in the air and lands in the
40
tree.
feet in the air. And it's like,
Like
the
even
heck?
a Triceratops, I don't think could yeet a truck that far.
I mean, what did they do? Park that thing on top of both a tank of gasoline and
They
propane?
yeeted it
Yeah.
high, far, and accurately. It's like
And it
the
falls out of the
Justin
tree.
Tucker of Jeep flingers.
It falls out of the tree the exact same way the car falls out of the vehicle in the first
Yeah.
movie.
Like I could just imagine the Triceratops going like, "Look at this, guys!" Wah!
Yeah.
The correct phrasing is, "Hey, y'all, watch this."
Mhm.
Basically, yes. My apologies.
All right, I know he's got this bleeding heart for these animals, but an injured, even baby T-Rex, I would not pick that up.
No.
Nope.
Nope.
Mm-mm.
No.
Also,
Sorry, little
and
dude.
I'm
Nature,
trying to remember,
Darwin's
did they-
theory is doing its dude.
Did they know that thing was captured before they went and freed it?
I wouldn't
or
pick up a 3-foot alligator.
no? No.
No, guys, we're ruining Steven's favorite film. I'm sorry, Steven.
Oh, sorry, Stephen.
You had to find out sooner or later.
Whoopsie
He tells
daisy.
Peter Stormare, "That's the last time I leave you in charge." I didn't even see him the whole time. I was like, what was he doing?
Yeah. He was probably asleep.
I guess. He looks like he just woke up, but that's kind of his perpetual look.
He
He
does
kind
have
of
that
always
look
looks like
all
he
the
just woke up.
Isn't he the guy in John Wick 2?
He's the beginning of
Okay.
that. He's in Fargo.
Yeah,
He's in a
this-
lot of stuff. Peter Stormare is great.
I'm sorry,
This
Stephen.
is kind of
but
his dunciest role, to be
this
honest.
next part here with the baby T-Rex, let's bring him back to base camp.
And this is her kind of being a
mean,
hypocrite.
I
again.
could
She's like, no, you shouldn't do this.
understand-
You shouldn't do this. And then she's like, okay, we'll do it.
Don't interfere with nature. This is
Yeah.
nature taking its course. If it's injured,
I
something's
could
going to eat it.
understand. I could understand them going somewhere, but not to base camp.
No.
You know, with the dinosaur. But they go right to their base camp.
And they don't answer any kind of phone call when someone's trying to warn them.
Yeah,
Mhm.
right.
I mean, I
So
don't
they
think I would
find
even pick up
a-
a baby goose and take it to base camp because Mama's going to come nip me in the butt.
Mhm.
See, I have a vendetta against geese. So, yeah, I would take one of their babies and, like, come at me, bro, and I'll yeet you with
Well,
my
just
foot.
remember, they had the vendetta against you first. That's just their
Yeah.
common state.
Now they know they're not alone because of the one of those cages that was actually locked.
What clued you in, fellas?
Oh man.
Did it take the lock
You know, I
really?
think this is the first movie that I've had that we've criticized like this.
Which is weird because I enjoy this. I can't hold it up
I
on a
do
pedestal as
enjoy
something that
this.
I don't like, but I
It's
really
turning into
fun.
an E EFAB.
I really, yeah. It's a
And that's
it's a
fine.
fun movie, and it's, you know, I watched this stuff when I was a kid, so it was fun.
Yeah. Like it's
All right,
shocking how
wanna try to
well
say
I know
something
this
positive
movie,
at some
as
point.
bad as it is.
Oopsie.
Well, there we go.
I'll just reiterate, there are a lot of scenes in this that are really well done. There's just the little things that are fun to pick at.
Yeah.
It's
So
not
much
saying the
of it
movie as
doesn't
a
make
whole
sense.
is terrible.
No, it's just a lot of it doesn't make sense. And it's
I
not
do
getting any
really
better
enjoy
from here.
this whole scene of the thing
I mean, I'll
getting
say this:
knocked over
I
the
could,
edge.
I could live in this thing. No, I would have no qualms about living in
Oh,
this
yeah.
thing. My gosh, I don't care where it would
Go
be
all over
parked.
the
Really,
country in
I'd
that?
live. I mean, I wouldn't want it in certain places, but you know, I would
Mm.
live in that, no problem.
Gas
don't-
mileage would be terrible.
Just don't park it. Just don't park it by a cliff when there's dinosaurs nearby.
Yeah, it's probably not a good idea. Now he's setting up the high hide. I hate that he had to explain what that was.
So he sees him drive by, and he hears the dinosaur.
What the heck was that?
And that would have to be
Enrique?
one big, tall, very strong tree to lift that thing up.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, those are redwoods. Those are big, tall, strong trees.
No, good point.
I don't know if an island off the coast of Costa Rica has redwoods, but redwoods are big and strong. So that's fine. It's fine.
And this is so. Oh, we brought home a new pet. It's like,
You did
No.
what?
no.
Like, what are you doing?
Take it back.
She was right.
This is
He
not a
gonna be
cat?
Kudos
Happy.
to this. Kudos
PetSmart
to
not
this
have
little girl
food?
who says. Yeah, kudos to this little girl that says, other animals are going to hear that.
Yeah, I know.
Right?
This is like her one decent moment where she's like, "Oh crap, this is pretty serious. This is not
Yeah,
good."
she's like, I want to get out of here, Dad. Come on. Let's go get up
Like,
in that
I'm
high
sorry I
hide."
did this. It's like, this is not the time to be making those. You are here. Good luck.
And all the shortcomings that character has, I do like the fact that she was written to have that one little moment of realization, but still be child enough not to think I need to make this a big point that everybody knows. It just reverts back to this is dangerous. I want to go home. It was actually like one of the best kind of like moments for her, where it was believable.
And he's trying to get a hold of the boat, and he doesn't speak Spanish.
This apparently he's talking to somebody who also wants to get a hold of the boat. Enrique?
What does he say later? But boy, she hates Enrique.
And she's like, no, she's like, it's like, boy, is she mad at you? He's like, yeah, I feel sorry for this guy, Enrique.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
Right? Like,
I feel
man,
sorry
his
for
wife's.
Enrique.
That's a good point, Steven.
Yeah. So much potential.
Yeah.
I can't remember. Was his daughter was in the book, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I think there were another kid in the book too.
Okay. Just making sure that she wasn't put in there just to capitalize.
There was a lot more people to this team, and I don't remember if there were two teams or not in the book. It's been a long time since I've read it. So they go up in the hide.
And they
Can we
finally
call this? Would it be wrong to call the team, that Malcolm's team, the Cowboys? Cowboys and Engines.
Good one.
I want to call
There you
them
go.
the Cowboys.
approved.
But yeah, they go up in the hide. He's like, okay, see,
We're safe.
we're safe.
And then they see the
T-Rex coming.
Mommy is very angry.
Oh, really? How could you tell?
And they're trying to get in touch with him. Oh, who could be calling us out here in the middle of nowhere?
We'd like to talk to you about your car's extended warranty.
Excuse me, we're here to talk to you about your car's extended warranty. Yes, the one that you're on the cliff with? Yeah, you need to pay the warranty on it. Why?
Yeah.
You're going to find out in like 10 minutes.
There's been a recall on
Expire
its
in about
brakes.
12 minutes, and if you want to re-up it, now's the time. I do think this part's pretty funny because he's telling me, he's like, make sure you grip that thing tight, and while you don't see it, he
He's like,
just zips down really fast and just
You
like,
hear
I
the
would've-
thud.
he's like,
I'm like,
would've-
I was
I would have
that's
squeezed a
pretty
little
funny.
harder.
It's just like you hear.
That's good levity. That's good levity. I like that. It's like, relish it, little girl. That
Yes,
guy's
like,
the
spit.
safest
Yeah,
person
spit.
to be with.
Well, she does say spit. Okay, so she
He
spits.
just
That's a
your
good bit.
gum.
Yeah.
I'm like, all right. Doesn't miss a beat. That's why I think it's improvised, is because he doesn't miss a beat at all. There's no. I think he totally intended on just throwing that in there, and I was like, that's pretty funny. I like that.
He's just like, what?
Oh, here they come.
And here come the Trexes.
Oh yeah.
They have a
And they're
couple of
not
moments where
happy.
they remember that hiding the dinosaurs can still be really effective. They have they have that, and then the moment later on with the raptors. they remember this principle. Not to overexpose
He's
them.
like, would it kill you to answer the phone?
Right?
I don't get why
It's
he's just
like,
like
no.
not saying they're coming. They're coming. Let's get this out of here.
Yeah, like,
just
and
say
they're like, no,
what's
we've
happening.
we're not done yet. And then the car goes flying off the edge of the cliff.
Yeah, apparently they saw what the T-Rex did. They were like, well, we can do.
Boom.
That was just with my little arm.
It's just like,
Mommy's very angry.
Mommy is going to eat you for.
I won't deny
brunch.
that myself and my siblings said that to one another a couple of times growing up.
What?
Mommy's very angry.
And they're like, uh-oh. And it's behind you.
Yeah, one of them is. 'Cause there's two.
Peekaboo.
It's like, this is getting out of hand. Now there are two of them.
Right?
Now, no, I do.
We
I
should
do
not have saved
like-
this baby.
I
There
wonder
are
if saving
like two
the
parts I
baby
don't
T-Rex
like
was a
about
good
this scene,
idea.
but it's a cool scene.
Yeah.
I do like
You
the
know, having
detail of
two
the
T-Rexes.
Rex here having some scars and whatnot, like it's fought other predators. Which
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure was the intention behind that.
like
like,
the
that's-
Spinosaurus.
Yeah. Well,
Maybe.
we know what happens in that fight.
Yeah, that was a different dinosaur, though.
Yeah. I think it's a little funny that, I mean, granted, okay, she's terrified. Yes, she's never been in one-on-one with a T-Rex before, but it's like, you should have some level of calm because you've been around predators since you were a teenager. It's like,
I mean, has she been around predators where like one of their teeth is the size of her head, though?
Maybe she
Yeah.
means like those door-to-door predators. Maybe that's what she
Probably.
meant. But yeah, she's pretty spooked. And then they're like,
So, okay, we're gonna put the baby out the door.
Did they touch you anywhere? Show us. That's where we'll bite.
Oh,
Show me on the doll where the bad people touched you.
This is never going to work. They always tell you once you handle a T-Rex baby, the mama won't take it back.
Nope.
Yeah, it's like it smells like you. No, thank you.
Push you off this cliff.
That actually would be kind of funny is when they go away, all of a sudden you see the baby just get flung off the
like-
cliff. That would be kind of hilarious.
Yeah, we're okay. And they're like, he's like, oh, this is gonna be bad. This is
Yeah,
gonna
that
be really bad.
realization that the behavior
It's
is
like,
that they
what
might
happened to
actually be
hearing
mad.
dinosaur
Wait.
stomps? They had to have come back pretty fast. It's like, why didn't you hear them coming?
Yeah, and
Like, come on.
the mama and daddy T-Rex make sure the baby's okay, and then we're like, let's go kill him.
You stay here.
It's like, okay, baby's fine. Now it's time for brunch.
We got a ginger to take care of.
Oh, and they're like, let's get the door open. Oh, it won't open. It won't open.
There's a short little throwaway line that he mutters
I mean, look at that.
where he says something like, that's why they hit us there, as if there was reasoning in the T-Rex
like they
enough to know
knew.
that would trap them inside. It would have been much better if it was just conveniently crushed in at that spot. Then
Yeah,
I'd-
or
I would
if they had
believe it was
already been
jammed.
flipped once or something.
Yeah.
But like, kick
They
the
locked
screen
us in.
out. Come on,
Yeah.
kick the screen out.
Or like, don't they have pocket knives? Just like it's there's like not it's not glass on that first level. You just like stab, cut, kick.
First aid kits only have the
Yeah.
power to patch, not cut. Obviously. Now they're all like, hang on to something. They know they're going over.
She's got to be insufferable and not do what he suggests.
I mean, she did grab onto something. It just wasn't a
Eventually.
great something.
She lands on the glass. And I'm like, okay, glass, do me this one favor. Break, okay? Break. No.
What are you waiting for?
Come on, Glass, you can do it. We know you can.
Malcolm yells down there, quick, stand up and jump.
What? Nothing, dear. It's fine.
It'll work, I promise. Oh no. Anyway.
I mean, we're making jokes here. I love this sequence.
Yeah, it is actually a really
it's a great
effective sequence. It's good. It's just a character that we're just like, I mean, it would have more tension if we wanted her to make it.
Yeah.
This is when like you start getting. I noticed it today. You start getting some of those old Spielberg like long holds on the when the radio's about to fall and all this other stuff. It's kind of like that. It's dipping just enough into unbelievable that it's over the top, but it's done well enough that you don't care that all this is happening just at the same time and that everything has to happen in the way that it does in order to have the result that we have. It just works with him.
Yeah.
And I think a piece of equipment falls, and as he's reaching for her, which she's not reaching up, and she very easily could, and then they both really quickly grab her quote-unquote lucky pack. So payoff, yay.
Yeah.
I was also thinking, like, when he's trying to grab for the phone, the satellite phone, he can use his foot, like, have a hand, foot, and then use his foot to go to try and get the satellite phone.
Or he knows his priorities. You're talking about Vince Vaughn's character. Right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I thought you were saying that Malcolm was reaching for two things at once. I was like,
Oh, no.
Phone.
Vince Vaughn's.
Not everybody appreciates how useful monkey feet can be. You can scoop up everything.
Yeah. It's awesome.
But I mean, like, his legs should be longer than his
Yeah.
arms.
No, I'm completely.
I know, at
agree.
his height, shoot. Vince Vaughn's a tall fellow. Yeah. He's like 6'5". Oh,
Uh-oh.
no.
Oh no, the
The
raccoons got him.
raccoons are back.
Oh no.
Well,
Da-da-da-da-da. The raccoons
hello, chat.
took out the host, everyone. Look
I
at
mean,
me.
that happened to me actually this past Saturday. My internet provider was like, "We're gonna do resets of all of the internet," and then in the middle of my stream, it was just like, "Oh."
It's like, whoopsie.
Yup.
Why would they
Well.
do this? And we can't even scrub this.
No.
Yeah, 'cause,
We
like,
have
if
no
you're not the
power
host-
here.
Yes, we have no power. Did a raptor get Jacob? I hope. I know, right, Steven? This happens to me all the time. The first time I was on Roman of the Empire's channel, this happened. This happened last Saturday. It's happened now. It's happened. I think it happened another time, and I just can't remember. I'm just like, what is that with me? And then streams just dying when I jump in. Like, what is this?
It's happened to me twice here with Jacob. I'm bad luck. So this is the third time.
A Velociraptor.
At one time it was
Well, hello.
oh, he's alive. Oh,
Made it.
you grabbed the
The
lucky
raptors
bag.
didn't eat him.
I have returned.
He was returned. He didn't get eaten.
We thought Jacob didn't make it. It's like
told you,
old,
stay
it's
out of
like
the
Pistol
tall
Pete's
grass.
hunting buddy.
Did not eat me.
Thought those dinosaurs finally got you.
Well, shooey, phooey.
Got to pull it back up. I think we're roughly about 58-ish minutes in. We're not even at the halfway point. Or I guess if you include credits, we kind of are. But yeah.
Well, as much as we've been, picking apart, like I've said multiple times, there's still good stuff in here. But overall, when you look at the story, the sequence of events, it's not a lot that happens over the length of the film.
Yeah, not
It,
really.
it seems to me, I know there's not a lot that happens in the first film, but it feels like there's more passage of time and more like decision making. It's more, this one just feels more like you're in point A and you need to get to point B as fast as you can.
Well, because I
Mhm.
mean, I think it's because in this movie, you kind of know that point B is getting the animals off the island. So you're like, okay, so it takes a really long time to get to that point B that you're fully aware of. Whereas in the first movie, point B is just surviving and escaping. It's like escape is point B. So it's like, okay, it's a simpler plot, but it works a lot better. It
Mhm.
works so much better because you feel that time, a lot more in that.
Well, it feels like you also have more going on because the group gets split up, so they have to get back together.
Mhm.
But you're also following the Bee's story with the crew, and you know,
Mhm.
hold on to your butts, turn the power back on.
Let's see. It says,
I-
okay, Beard,
What's
start
up,
reenacting
Ricky?
the movie. Oh, Gourd and Mandy discuss. I'm trying to think of what does happen next. Like, okay, the thing falls, the glass
Well,
breaks,
no,
the
so
lucky
he
pack.
that too, the lucky pack, but the guy from the high up place like comes down and rescues them, and then like
Well, that's
apparently
after that's after like he comes down and they're all safe-ish at that point when he first is lowering the rope to him, and then there's that absolutely terrible line where he's like rope, anything else? It's like, yeah, 3 double cheeseburgers with
I
everything.
Yeah,
thought it was awesome.
I hate that line so much.
Funny.
I'm like,
What
no one's saying that in this
that?
today.
I
Say that I do when I'm scared. I do humor.
I could believe Malcolm saying it a little bit.
No, it's
Maybe
that the
Nick,
joke keeps going. It's that
But
all
yeah.
of them have to chime something in. I'm like, no.
It's just one of them said it, and like the other two gave him a look like we're going to throw you out of this bus.
Yeah, it's like if the other two had maybe not played along with it, it probably could have been pretty funny. But it's like, no, they had to add to it, and I'm like,
I thought it was fine.
I do have a question about this guy that comes and rescues him, because he lifted up the hide
Mhm.
with the winch on his vehicle that I assume he then had to disconnect from the hide and then drive to them so that he could use the winch on his vehicle.
I think he used a different winch. I think he had a
Well,
different.
you've got to have
cable
a way
set
of
up.
lowering yourself back down.
Well, no, but
don't
they
want
have
traffic
remote
jam.
controls for it. But if his anchor for the hide is his vehicle, and the winch cable is bolted to the winch on the vehicle, he would have to have another vehicle to leave to go save them.
Hmm.
And I know they did have 2 of them, but we saw the first one get thrown off a cliff.
It's true.
Mm.
I mean, he could have disconnected the one from
Yeah.
there, I guess. Which, I mean, that would make
It's
sense.
another one of those little things.
Yeah.
And since I'm on my tear about these little things, these vehicles and everything were designed terribly for a rainforest. The trucks don't have a back window to the bed.
I know.
All of the other team, all of their vehicles are open. The hide, I know it has camo netting, but you could put a roof and then camo netting on the roof. So
So then poor Eddie, who saves their lives, and his vehicle is getting ripped to shreds by these 2 T-Rexes. All the while, he is still doing everything he can to keep his foot on the gas, keep that thing up so they don't fall, and he gets the most horrific death in the entire freaking movie. I mean,
I'm kind of
one
surprised
of
that
them
they
pulls him up, I think by the leg, flips him and catches him. The other one takes the other half and they rip him in half. And it's like, oh gosh, that's
Yeah, and
awful.
I know it's silhouetted and you don't see like a spill of blood or come out or anything, but I'm still surprised they got away with that.
Yeah, it's
Right?
pretty violent death. And yeah, it's not a character who deserves it. It's the character that least deserves it.
I
It was
wonder
the only useful person in the entire.
so they could do that.
It's like they gave him the worst
I
treatment
know.
in the entire film. And I'm like, why? What did he do? Why?
No, being gum on the bottom of a T-Rex's foot would be a pretty bad way to go too.
Yeah, but he deserved it.
Yeah, that guy. Yeah, that guy deserved it.
I don't know if he actually deserved it,
for
but he was a little
sure.
less consequential. I mean, he had his headphones on, so he was, I guess, sort of negligent. But it's like, but still, it's like, who cares? He was just there to be meat.
And
There's
what
some-
was his name again?
Carter.
Carter. They went with the name Carter, but they gave him the stereotypical music.
Yeah, he's very Hispanic.
I mean,
very
I know kids could be named whatever, but that was an interesting choice.
Yeah.
Wait, maybe
Is
he's
this-
calling him by his last name, and he's.
Oh, I'm pretty sure that
married
is his
and-
last name.
But still,
It's like, what's the first one?
I don't know. He's oddly enough, his first name is Eugene.
Eugene? That's his first
I don't know.
name?
No.
Have you returned to
I'm
us?
back. I'm back. Can y'all hear me?
Yes,
Yes.
we can.
Hear ya. Yep, yep.
Okay.
We
Okay.
have- Without the scrubbing, we have skipped past. We've gotten up to Eddie and his terrible demise.
Yeah, Eddie just couldn't stand being part of the team anymore, so he had to split.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Perfect.
There you go.
So
Dude, that'd be
where are we?
appreciated.
Where are we?
Right
We're up to the-
after Eddie is, torn between, saving them and leaving them.
Poor Eddie.
And this is a really well done scene.
Did y'all
with
talk
them.
about the you need a rope?
Yes.
What else do you need?
Yeah.
Yep. 3
Yes.
double cheeseburgers.
You're about to fall to your death. That was a cool scene though of the camper exploding underneath them.
Yeah, the entire thing
I'm
really
apparently
works.
in the
It
minority
also
of
was,
hating that
again,
line, by the way.
Yeah, it just continued that very Spielbergian sort of tension going back and forth and every little thing going wrong. And
Yeah. I mean, they almost fall like 3 times.
oh yeah.
Yeah.
And they all, like, not one of them falls. It's like, come on. Just stop. This is probably part of the reason why Spielberg didn't really like this movie that much.
Then she's like, "Oh no, the hunters!"
And I'm trying to work this out. Okay, so yeah, those 2 T-Rexes kill Eddie, and this is roughly a minute later. These guys are all there. Okay, it's like
I was like,
Huh?
wait a second. Why didn't they try and help Eddie?
Yeah,
yeah.
The dinosaurs had
Thanks
to
for
get, the
nothing.
T-Rexes had to get back before the itis set in. They needed to take a nap.
they had to wait till the T-Rexes had eaten something, so they would just go away.
It's like, hey, you might show
That's what it
some
was.
respect. He just saved our lives. He's like, well, his problems are over, and I'm like, that is a good point. He doesn't have to be in the movie anymore.
Yeah.
I wanted to headbutt this guy right here in this scene for some reason.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, what? Headbutt. Ow.
You have this guy. Well, I'll give them this. This guy actually is a pretty decent foil for. I mean, he's a decent villain for this kind of movie. He's not utterly incompetent. He's very Weasley, but he's the kind of Weasley that you could believe would survive something. He's kind of reminds me of Burke in Aliens. Kind of has that sort of vibe going for him. And he plays
Yeah.
it pretty well. I'll give him that.
He's out for himself.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, okay, well, there's the old base of this island
Mm-hmm.
that we can get word out that we need help. And he's like, there's one problem. The raptors, of course.
Okay, I
It's
have to
the
ask though, did
raptors.
anyone else think that line came up really unnaturally in the conversation? Like they're just talking about where they need to go, and then all of a sudden he goes, "That's not the problem," and I'm like, "Huh?" It kind of feels almost a little out of nowhere bringing up the raptors the way he did. It just was an odd line. It was a very odd line. I've always thought that was strange. The way
It does
that
raise
gets
the
delivered.
question on how much information they do have on the island if they can identify specific territories.
I mean, I don't necessarily mind that it's fine. They know that raptors are there. It's just the way, like the line of dialogue that goes from transitioning to this is where we need to go. And oh, by the way, there are raptors. It's like, it's delivered very, very strange. I thought, I've always thought that it kind of is just like maybe a little part of the scene maybe got cut out or something. I don't know. I always thought it was a little weird.
I think I blacked out for a second because I completely missed this conversation earlier today.
He's basically just saying, okay, we go here, and then he spots something on the ground. He's like, that's not the problem. And it's like, what is the problem? It's like Velociraptor's like, oh, I didn't know you all were talking about problems to begin with. But you were just talking about this is where we need to go.
In R2, I agree.
Yeah. Would it take down a T-Rex?
I don't know.
I would get a 50 cal. That's what I would get.
Probably, yeah. That, and even
And
that, like,
You don't just have two, and he's just got 2 shots.
Yeah.
You know.
I always did find it weird that these hunters have primarily Now, it's not all. I did look up on the International Movie Gun Database. That exists. It's awesome.
It is.
Most of them have bolt action rifles, which is great if you're hunting game that isn't also potentially hunting you. There
Yeah.
are a few semi-automatic or automatic rifles. Peter Stormare's character has one. It's an HK, but those are smaller rounds, and then you just dump a mag into something and hope it runs away. It's not going to necessarily take it down unless you get really good shots. But
Yeah.
the bolt actions were an interesting choice.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, Americus, like deer. They only hunt you sometimes.
International.
Yeah.
Gun
Not like a
movie. Is it called International Movie Gun Database?
I think so.
Okay, because I need to favorite the site, research, and just
It's
Fun.
awkward, and some of the links don't go where they say they go. But
it looks just like a Wikipedia page, basically.
yeah.
So it's
Oh.
like, there's the raptors.
But also,
They're in the center of the island.
this guy's like, "What is that?
And
A Velosa?"
if
What? This
me,
guy just.
if
Why'd
I
they
was
bring
a
this
hunter,
guy?
if I was a hunter and going to a dinosaur island, I would want to know exactly what dinosaurs are on this island.
Yeah, and learn just a tad about what they do. You know, it's like, okay, what am I dealing
Right.
with here?
Like, you don't need to be a paleontologist, but you need to know, like, if I'm going to go into a dinosaur infested island where I am going to possibly have to encounter one of the biggest, most terrifying predators in all of human existence, like, I'd want
Yeah, that should have been included in those dossiers that Hammond was handing out.
Yeah, he didn't read the dossier. Clearly, he's that guy. He didn't read the dossier. He was just like, we've got some experts.
Yeah,
Just do what they
and
tell me.
this guy is probably like, there's always one in every trip that doesn't know what an animal is.
He was just so done with everyone. He's like, he's the only, like, there were only really, in my opinion, 2 to 3 competent people in this movie. One of them is now dead, and the other one is just obsessed with the T-Rex, but he actually knows what the heck he's doing. Like, he
There
can't
were two.
pronounce the
There were
words.
2, but they became 3, unfortunately.
Yeah.
That's why you said 2 to 3. You just didn't realize it.
I was thinking about Dr. Malcolm. Like, he kind of seems like he's competent, but nobody.
I can't give him
Soon
that
anyway.
in this movie. I can't. He's giving good advice, but there's just not enough urgency to him.
Yeah,
He almost feels like
be
it almost feels
done.
like if Raymond from Everybody Loves Raymond was the leader of the Cowboys. Like he was like he would be telling them you need to do this, but it's like I don't know if he's serious or not. It's hard to tell. Whatever. We'll just do what we do.
I love how Roland recognizes this guy and he's like, "You're that Earth First bastard."
Yeah. Although they sort of get along here a little bit because he's like, you look like you have a shred of common sense about you, but at the same time, he's still on very much a different side of the spectrum as he is.
Yeah,
He tells
he's
him
trying
the
to get
Everest
the bullets out
story.
of his gun.
Yeah, he gives him like I like the line, the whole delivery of the Everest story. I was like, that's pretty cool. I like
Mhm.
that.
Mm-hmm.
Although when he does say that he wants to take a look at the gun, he basically points it directly at his face.
Yeah, here he is. Okay.
Discipline.
Just one little pull of oops. I'm sorry about your
Whoopsie-daisy.
friend, guys. He was touching my gun.
He got in the way. I don't know.
Now he's lecturing him about how it's like bringing dinosaurs off this island is one of the dumbest ideas in the history of bad ideas, and I'm going to be there when you find out. I'm like, okay, that's nice. Pippin is barking at me like an a-hole. He wants second breakfast.
Yes, where's my second breakfast?
Also, for the blood thing to be a usable and believable plot point later on, that was way too much rain for her to still have that much blood on her.
Right?
Yeah.
Like there
Yeah.
would
But it's
like,
not remotely believable that she. It's like, gosh, it's like, sweetheart, you've said, oh,
And
he's
she
got the
looks like
largest
she
olfactory
thrives
cavity
here.
in the animal kingdom after the turkey vulture.
Yeah.
And I'm like, and you're wearing a jacket covered in its baby's blood. What did you think was going to happen? Jeez,
But
lady.
I know I've tracked predators all my life.
She didn't think it was a big deal because it's actually her bottle of ketchup she keeps in case and like a hot dog is available.
Oh, it's just ketchup.
I don't understand like why this didn't dawn on her when he points it out to her like, "Hey, are you bleeding?" And she's like, "No." Why do you ask?
Well, let's for a second believe that she's still in some kind of
use
shock
your-
and not processing things. He's a hunter. You think his next question would be
Yeah.
when she says, "No, I'm fine." He would then point out scent tracking and things like
Get
that.
that thing off of you right now.
Yeah, and then she says, "Oh, it's the baby's. It's the Tyrannosaur baby's blood." And he's like, he would say a few expletives at her.
Like he should have like
It's
yelled
my
at her
lucky
like,
shirt.
"What the hell are you doing? You are leading the T-Rexes right to us."
You could be
Like,
leading a lot of
something.
animals over here for all you know. It's like lots of things could come this way. I mean,
Here's
they were
the-
saying earlier, like, oh, the baby T-Rex, if we put it out there, it'll get devoured in the wild by some other predator. I'm like, you've got its blood on you. What do you think's going to happen? You could lead T-Rexes,
Yeah.
raptors, anything.
The way I'd like
Lady,
to
take
So
off
this-
the lucky shirt.
I don't know. They
So
missed
this
in
guy's
my-
off to the ladies' room.
Oh yeah.
He actually says, "I'm going to the ladies' room." Then he gets lost.
Idiot. Another idiot. He starts getting
Then-
bitten by the compies. That looks wrong. The shot looks like. Are we watching The Lost World or Deliverance?
It's like, ah. And it's like the Army of Darkness
Yeah.
zoom in shot. Ah.
The horror.
The horror.
Oh.
Ah, I got a fruit fly flying around me.
He's like, ah. The part where it's got his lip and he's like yanking at it to get it away.
I mean, at this point, it's like, this is where I'm like, okay, I don't, if they're poisonous, fine, I can believe that. But I honestly don't think there's enough of these things here to genuinely kill him. If it's just pure bite force and doing damage, because they're not doing a lot to him other than kind of giving him some cuts. And I'm like, I'd be going primal on these things, like biting some noggins off. I'd go all
I'd
out
be
on
like
these
doing
things.
what you're
Yeah.
supposed to do to chickens, like
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like,
Like,
it's like
oh,
it might hurt
yeah.
for a while, but one at a time. Let's kill these little buggers. You know, because
right.
you probably
And
won't
then
even
like
have
if
to
you
kill them
start
all.
doing
Eventually, they'll
like
freak
dead
out.
bodies, they'll probably start eating like the
Yeah.
dead body.
It's like you're running. It's like you need to get on offense, dude.
That's a good point.
But he's like, I don't have a wood chipper.
I look at these things like Chihuahua lizards.
Yeah.
The only, like one of the few dogs I've
Yeah.
ever like run away from when they started like charging at me was a couple of Chihuahuas. What can I say? My feet were bare and I didn't want to lose a toe.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, I mean, I guess the idea here is, and like, right, if there had been a lot more of these, that's fine, because you kind of start thinking of them as like piranhas with legs, basically.
Mhm.
But there's like a dozen of them.
And they don't really
Wow.
do a great job of showing the damage that one bite could do.
Yeah,
I think
I'm like
if they
they're
showed-
basically cutting him up, and like I said, if they had shown him like surrounded by these things, I'm like, okay, I can believe this. Now I can believe it. Dozen of them, I don't think so. I have a hard time with it. He's a big dude. It's a
Like
big guy.
grab a stick, get the stick and start smashing them, man. Like
Yeah.
Whack a compy.
whack-a-mole.
And all this
But they
blood
get him-
just starts pouring down. I'm like, what the heck?
What have they done? Like, did they get an artery or something? Like, did they bite his neck and like?
One of them's got like a
don't know,
Hellboy
it might
claw
be.
and just ripped his stomach open.
Well,
Like,
going by
big old
what
compy.
they say about these dinosaurs, that they're poisonous and it like makes you go numb all over. I mean, if you can't fight him and he's going numb, I mean, it's possible they could go for his neck.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, if they mention the poison thing, no real issue. Other than this is ridiculous, but it's ridiculous however you slice it. But I don't recall any mention of them being toxic in any way.
No,
He
I don't
doesn't seem to be acting like he's poisoned either.
Well, he starts stumbling
Yeah.
a little
Yeah,
bit.
well, I mean, he just looks fatigued, maybe, but it's like, dude, the adrenaline's
Yeah.
got to be working on you at some point.
See, if he had a machete,
Exactly.
swing that around.
That was
Well,
Arnold,
he had at least 2 guns. He had a rifle, and you see him reach for his pistol, but it's not there. So he either took it off to use the bathroom, or
Oh no,
dropped
he
it on
lost the
road
rifle
down the
falling
hill.
down the hill.
Right,
He lost. Yeah, I'm guessing he lost both.
It's like,
just a bad holster.
Yeah.
this guy's like, I don't know. I was 15 minutes. I saw him 15 minutes ago.
Mm-hmm.
Like, wouldn't he think that, like, this dude, walked by me going to the restroom, like, we're leaving. I'd yell after him, be like, hey, we're leaving.
Yeah, it's like he noticed them, but then when they all had to go, he's just like, whatever.
Maybe he just didn't like him very much.
Filmed it as though he didn't even notice him, leaving.
Yeah.
It was like, okay, he didn't notice
I
him.
like
And he's
this.
like, oh
I
no,
like this
saw him.
part.
Come on, up.
He's like, let's go. Come on. And then the other guy gets up. Let's get the hell out of here.
All right.
Okay.
We only listen to Chads. We ain't listen to no beta.
And he's snoozing.
Credit to him for being that comfortable with dinosaurs out in the wild. And they come back and he's like, did you find them? It's like, just the parts they didn't like. It's like, really? That's why I think they needed more. That's the piranha thing going.
Yeah. He shouldn't have electrocuted that one earlier.
Right?
Yeah. He didn't make them afraid. He made them vengeful.
Yeah, that one went and got the boys.
And he went back and told them all, like, dude, there's this big burly guy. He goes off the bathroom. That's our time.
It's our time, boys.
Why are they so messy when they eat? Oh my
I don't
gosh.
know.
Why
You
is
don't-
she this messy?
You don't even leave snacks out like that in bear country, let
I
alone in
would give this
dinosaur
girl
country.
up for
In
adoption.
dinosaur country.
Like, this honestly, in my opinion, it showed as a reflection on Sarah. Like, she's supposed to be the one who knows what's going on. It's like, oh, very smelly, like sweet, scented things being left all over
Don't
the
worry,
area.
the smell of the blood on her jacket will drown it out.
Yeah. And he sees the ripples on the water and feels the tremors. And she's like, oh, the dinosaurs are coming. And she
Dinosaurs!
realizes, oh, wait, it's my jacket.
She's like, oh, I forgot
like,
that I know
duh.
things.
Oh my gosh.
And then she starts putting all the wrappers and stuff in a bag and hides it. It's like, that's not
They're
why
already
they're
here.
there.
They've had literally she's had an entire day to think about this. An entire day to think about this.
That is-
Whoop. And then she wakes up and
That
she's like,
is so cool.
Oh wait.
That's a great shot.
It is great. Love it.
I mean, what
I
happened?
can't believe, like, the first thing I would do is I'm like, oh, there's a small child. I would, like, reach over and, like, just clamp my hand over their mouth and just be like,
Shush.
don't
mouth
you
shut.
make a sound.
I have a whole bag of shush with your name on it.
Like, smack her hand. Like, her, just be like, shut up.
Fee, fi, fo, fum. I smell the blood of my own child.
Tommy? Hello? Tommy, where'd you go?
Steven's asking if those are the first ripples we saw in the movie.
No, there was like a kind of half ripple.
A hipple.
A hipple earlier. I felt like there was.
I want to say that there was something in that T-Rex print, but I don't think
Mhm.
so.
I don't recall
Yeah, I
one.
don't remember.
I recall
Because the first time we
one
see the
not.
T-Rex is it's pouring down rain, so there's not really standing still water to show that in.
Uh-huh.
Right.
So it might be.
Yeah.
But yeah, you definitely would have
my code.
like nudged her in the side and been like, "Hey, don't scream."
Well, she
Just
does cover her
shut
mouth.
your-
here in a
Well,
second.
yes.
Just
Yeah.
It doesn't take her any time to realize what's drawing them there, but it takes her a sec to realize, oh, I better cover this chick's mouth.
And of course,
And then this
Carter
guy,
wakes
he
up and
deserved
starts
everything he
screaming
got.
like a little girl.
He
Hey,
deserved everything he
might have
got.
just been heroically drawing the attention away. Because it's all on him now.
No, don't feed the girl.
Don't take. It's like, please let the women and children go. That's what he said in Spanish. Scream.
And he's like, don't move, don't move.
And nobody listens to him.
No one's listening. This guy's always sarcastic. Don't listen.
I love that part. The part where they, it's got its head stuck in the tent.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
it's a good shot of perspective showing their size versus its. It's pretty cool. Pretty cool looking. I like it.
And that's another example of pushing their technology a little bit further with not only compositing with this much motion in again, but flashlights that have to be shown on the dinosaur.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And it's still good looking CGI. I gotta say, it's this movie's 26 years old.
Yeah.
Looks pretty solid. Looks pretty solid.
Steven, thanks for hanging out, buddy.
Yeah. See you later, Steven.
See ya, Steven.
Sorry we tore your favorite movie to shreds.
Have a good one.
We Eddie card it.
He's
And
like,
pulls
oh, that.
Why? I don't think those
I mean,
bullets would
what-
have done much if we're being honest. I don't think they're doing much with those two bullets.
Yeah.
But still.
I can't remember. Do we even get a small pop of the primer going off? don't
Yeah,
think
he
so.
fires it, I think. I think there's
Yeah,
a
he
little...
does fire it, but it just clicks. I don't think it doesn't do anything.
Because you pull the bullet
yeah. Oh,
out
no,
of
no,
the,
yeah,
the
that-
cartridge, the powder's going to come out, but the primer would still be there. Sorry. I went
No,
from
there's
camera
not, no,
nerd
there-
to
that's
gun
not
nerd.
in it. No, they don't have that.
Nope. He should have had a 4-bore.
Or, 2 extra bullets in your belt.
Yeah. You only carried 2 bullets? Seriously?
I mean, I know he was sleeping, but it's not like anybody got undressed and got in pajamas. He would have had
I mean,
everything
that
right
might be
next
like
to him.
that might be like his hunter's code or something to do it the most challenging way or something. I don't know.
What if he's hunting 2 of them? Like, oh, there's 2 T-Rexes.
Yeah.
They've kind of been coming in pairs here lately. Just
Uh-oh,
saying.
and here's Carter.
I have a hard time believing he'd be that's
Uh,
intentionally stupid.
Like, oh no, 2 bullets. Wait, I've got pockets all over my shirt, my pants. Everything's got pockets. But I didn't think to put any bullets into the pockets.
All right.
This is why pockets are wasted on men.
so he hits the Trent gun. Hey, Mark Clark.
Gotta keep scrubbing. We're still on this.
Wait, I've gone further ahead.
Oh, the raccoons are messing with your wires again. We're still staring at the 2 empty bullet casings.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Okay, hang on a second. You missed Carter getting stepped on.
Oh no.
Oh, it's fine. We don't need to see the bubblegum wrapper used to be known as Carter.
I do think it's really funny that he gets stuck.
He gets stomped
Yeah,
on
stuck to
once,
his
and
foot.
then he goes up with the foot, which is what happens typically when you step on something.
Yeah.
And then it gets stomped on again.
Mm-hmm. And then finally, after a few more steps, just like, oh, there he there he goes.
Oh, that looks fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
Right there.
Oh, yeah.
That's cool. That looks cool.
That's menacing. You just see like a little glint of the eye and like the teeth. It's just
Mhm.
Mwah.
And then go into this waterfall, which
He
Here we
gets
go.
stepped on. Yep.
Carter!
Oh,
Smash. Yeah, that's way bigger than that 3-foot track that was left before.
yeah.
He's
Right.
still
Way bigger.
he's still like kicking and screaming as he's stuck, right?
Well, yeah, 'cause I
That,
think
that
the
first one.
'cause I
Okay.
think he mostly landed in one of the prints, which means he probably wouldn't have gotten fully stopped on the first time. But that second one was a little bit harder surface.
Yeah, just in
Crunch.
general, that mud was soft enough. He might have been laying in that puddle for a while afterwards,
yeah.
just in a lot
Just
of pain.
shattered.
Yeah.
He probably drowned.
I do
If
like
they were to
the
find his
scene-
body again, he drowned.
Yeah.
Like
In
Aowen
Jurassic
goes
Park
up to
3.
him. My body is broken.
I like the scene in Jurassic Park 3 where Grant kind of falls in between two trees and the T-Rex steps like right on him. That was a good part. So he's getting the trank gun ready.
Gotta say, they're a lot more casual with these darts than I probably would be. I mean,
Right.
given
Just like
how
putting it in the mouth.
given how dangerous these things are without being fired, I'd
Yeah.
probably be a little bit cautious about putting one in my mouth. I mean, what if you? I don't know what happens if you ingest that poison. I imagine it doesn't go well. But you could trip
Probably
and
not.
break one or in your mouth or something. There's a lot of things that could go wrong here. Yeah, they get under this waterfall here. A very
I
limited,
do know that some
just enough.
animals, the female's bigger than the male.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder if the female's bigger than the male. That's why it's got a bigger foot.
And I'm
Hmm.
maybe, or it could have just been an adolescent, like maybe just wandering in a granted, we're thinking more about this than they did, but it could have just been like an adolescent just kind of like wandering around and maybe in their territory.
Yeah.
What did y'all think of the dinosaur sticking his tongue out when he couldn't reach him?
Ugh.
That was
I thought
actually
it was
that
like-
was something they were going to do in the first movie,
Mhm.
but they saved it for this one, I guess. I don't
Yeah, I
know
was
why
thinking
Crossed it with a
why they were
frog.
intent on doing it, but
Well, I think that she
least
still
he didn't
maybe
have
had
a-
some scent
a-
of the baby T-Rex on her.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That crossed my mind.
Just
Like,
be glad
I smell
that
my
when
kid.
they crossed, put some of the frog DNA in the dinosaur, that it didn't give it the frog tongue.
This reminds me of that part in SpongeBob where he's like, "It's so close, I can almost taste it." Bleh.
Right.
He licks a SpongeBob ice cream cone. It's like, I can smell that blood.
Yeah,
This
think
part-
it's a snake.
He's more afraid of a
This part
snake than a
frustrated.
T-Rex.
It's red next to yellow. Kill a fella, okay? There's no.
Is
red
that
next
yellow
to
or is that
here.
white?
It's
I don't
to me
know.
it looked white.
It looks
I thought it
white.
looked pretty white. So that's just a king snake, isn't it?
Yeah,
You'd have been fine. What an idiot.
right. Because
Like,
like that bothered me too when I was
oh.
looking at it. I was like,
It's like, dude, just
I-
grab it by the tail and pull it out. Just pull it out. Your odds are better
Oh.
that way.
right. He's a biologist or some sort of ist.
A
Like he
snake.
studies ology, and like a snake. Really, I'm sure he probably looked at it, and I would have maybe freaked out for like a second and just froze. But then,
Oh,
like,
crap. It's like, pull. The other side of the fountain is way worse.
right?
Snake
Kool-Aid in the
or
water.
T-Rex.
And this
It's
is
like-
evidence again that once T-Rexes eat, they get the itis. They have to go take a nap.
Yeah.
They
That
just
Mhm.
T-Rex
disappear.
is just
T-Rexes
Run.
can apparate like Harry Potter. They eat and just poof, gone. We're out of here.
Haha. I just wanted a snack. Then
Oh, this
everybody
is
just
great.
goes running into the tall grass.
Even though the guy said not into the long grass. Although, granted, I'm like, they were heading this way, so weren't they going to have to go through the long grass anyway?
Yeah.
But this actually is a pretty well staged scene. This is pretty
Yeah.
cool. Kind of reminiscent of Jaws in a way. You just see, instead of the fin, you've got the tails, and they're tracking that line of grass going down as they're homing in on all these dudes. I was like, that's
Yeah,
pretty
that's
cool.
so cool.
That's pretty cool. I like that.
Yeah, really well, really well done.
This
Yeah.
might be the last moment of the movie I actually like.
Yeah.
And again, this entire thing, the lighting, how it's done, and how it's played out, the pacing, it's very Spielberg, that classic
Mhm.
tension.
Yeah.
Back when films respected their audience to some extent. Now, a lot of this movie doesn't, but this scene does. It doesn't like have to show you them tearing them apart. They just let the fact that they're disappearing
Mhm.
and it's silent. They just let that sink in.
Yeah.
That's a good catch right there.
Mm-hmm.
Dude's
I mean, you
feeling
kind of
it.
always know whenever you're dealing with some kind of monster and you've got a bunch of no names walking around. It's like, okay, this is the fodder. So they've built up a long time where it's like, okay, now we got to get rid of the fodder. So here are the raptors, and of course the black guy gets the scariest of the
Then you get
deaths.
the reveal.
Racist rap, the Velociracists.
Mhm.
Well, they didn't take him out first.
No,
That's
they
true.
saved him. They just let him be scared first. They let him suffer. How dare
I love how like when he like Doc is just like, hold on a second. I know this sound. This sound is still in my nightmares. We need to go quickly.
Yeah.
We probably
I'm
won't
surprised
outrun
that
them.
I was like, were they not noticing what was going on behind them at all?
Well, I think this
Well,
was in front
they
of
weren't
them.
there yet. They were separated.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, this crew got like left behind.
And he's like, I'm fairly alarmed. I'm fairly alarmed here.
And then he's like,
It's like,
I love
run.
how like when he tells them to run, it's one of those like you can see it in his eyes, the disbelief of I don't think we're going to outrun these things, but you must run as fast as you can.
Mhm.
It's like, we better try.
Yeah, it's better to try
And then,
than
like, they all fall down the slide. Oh.
wee. And he gets injured.
There's a lot of
again.
convenient falls, starting with this one coming.
Mhm.
Lots of
He
them.
probably injured the same leg.
Yeah.
Right?
injured
I was thinking the
before.
same thing. I was like, which leg was it that he injured in the first movie? Wonder if it's just it acting up. Like maybe he fell on it wrong and it just pulled
Yeah.
something.
See you, Roman.
Later, Roman. Often weird. Stay awesome. We will stay weird. And awesome.
I mean, at the very least, like Joker voice isn't on here, so we can't do the scissoring joke.
Mm.
No.
I love how they think that just because they landed there, it's like, oh, we're safe from the raptors now. We can stop. It's fine. It's like, how about y'all heal his leg after you go inside? How about that?
Right?
Get inside first. Come on.
I like this part. He's going around in here, and he turns around, and it's the teeth.
Mhm.
It's like,
I'd get scared too, bro. I'd be like, "Teeth."
What the?
I
I
forget.
don't
Did they
understand
ever
why
mention,
he like.
Of all the
did they ever
equipment that
mention
works
in the
at
film
this-
that the place is run on geothermal power? That's why it still has power.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
do say that in there.
Okay,
Yeah.
I forgot.
they do? Okay, good. Because I was like,
Isn't that convenient?
wow, those are really good batteries.
I mean, still, is that much damage from a hurricane in that humid environment? There wouldn't be anything that would turn on. But whatever.
Whatever. Yeah.
The vegetation that's encrusted on it protected it.
That's right.
Yeah, that's right.
It's got that aftermarket plot spray that keeps it safe.
Yes. So he gets a hold of him and says, we need an emergency. We need help
Come here
immediately.
Calls the
Like-
Uber.
now. the pre Uber.
So I guess he was calling his buddies or Hammond's team or who. I'm confused on who he called because they respond like almost like a paramilitary sort of
Yeah, right.
everybody all hands
Yeah.
on deck right away.
I mean, I'm guessing they had
Like
some
maybe
kind
they
of
had a
protocol
ship or
for this.
something.
I'm guessing there was some people on standby for such a situation. That would make sense. So
Yeah.
I don't think that's not the aspect that's necessarily hard to believe. It's more that the station works that well.
Yeah.
But it's like that just
So
seems like
one
something they
one
prepared for.
dinosaur that they didn't have in the movie, I forget what they're called, but in this scene they hear breathing, but they can't see where it's coming from, and they turn on the lights, and it's like a dinosaur that is like a chameleon.
Mm-hmm.
It's like a big meat eating dinosaur.
Cool.
This is a good part. It was very an intense part in the book.
Wow, so the actual source material dipped into genetic alterations and chameleon cloning. Huh.
Predator.
Yeah.
Oh, see you, R2.
See ya.
And right about now is when the raptors show up.
Yeah, y'all are moving kind of
Is
slow.
that a raptor on your back?
There goes the lucky bag.
Our gangster raptors.
Right? I was like, rip Lucky Bag. He lived long until his usefulness was over.
She lost her plot armor just
Yeah,
in
right.
time.
I mean, really,
Yeah.
once that bag went, I think it would have worked out to actually.
It would have been
her,
very
die
fitting
off.
to then have her get killed at some point after.
Have her actually behave with the intelligence that she's supposed to have, and as selfish as she has been the entire film, if she were to then be selfless to save like his daughter or whatever,
Yeah.
that would have been great. No more Lucky Bag. Actually, like do something for somebody else.
Just holding the door
Yeah.
up like a
Yeah.
shield.
It's like, you shall not pass. Oh.
Yeah, that's 2 broken wrists, glass in your back.
I have this happen to me in Dark Souls all the time.
Well, like, just think about the glass that's still on the door frame, like, that would cut into his legs and possibly slice his legs off.
I don't even get, why is this particular window so hard for that thing to break?
I don't.
It is an interesting choice because most side windows are not laminated like your windshield,
No.
so it wouldn't
Right.
peel away like it does.
No. And then they do a bit of digging.
Maybe
And-
they reinforced the side
And then they're like,
windows
well,
because
we'll
it's a
dig
dinosaur
too.
place.
That would be smart. And I'm like, you realize they could go to the other side?
Right? And this
There's
is
a lot
the
of
part
these
where
raptors.
this is the part where I could have swore, like, I was hoping one of them was like, okay, one of you's gonna die here. Yes.
Grab the redhead.
Credit where it's due. Even granted, I've always been susceptible to jump scares. I hate them, but I knew this was coming, and it still got me to jump a little bit.
Yeah.
It's well done because you expect it. You expect it. You expect it. Again, like he's playing with that tension. It's not happening. Nothing's
Yeah.
biting her hand. She even sticks her head out there, and you think something's going to happen to her. She just lost her lucky pack. She's going to get pulled out, and then they're like, "Oh, it's fine." Then he gets you.
Yep.
Love it.
I
I still don't understand why the raptors would think to dig.
I don't mind it too much because a lot of animals have that instinct. So I don't necessarily know what raptors did with their various leavings, but
Yeah.
you know, a lot of animals, you know, they throw some dirt on it, you know.
Yeah.
But,
Peekaboo.
and they're smart, so it's like, okay, that's fine, I guess. I mean, I thought about it for a sec, but I was like, oh, dogs do it.
Ah.
She should have at least lost a hand. At least a hand.
That's actually kind of the good thing about this particular jump scare is that they don't put it to where you can see the just miss. They actually force its head, you know, over where you see the arm. So it's like there's that brief moment. It's like, did it get her? You
Yeah.
know? Makes you think that for
Yeah.
a while, for a little bit. Finally, he gets through.
All that dinosaur
Try
wanted
just
to
to
do
get
was
his
a
drive-through.
bundle of roses.
That raptor getting into his car. It's like the most aggressive drive-through attendant. Just take it.
And she's like, I know what to do.
All right, Mando, would you
just-
take us down this journey? Take us down this journey. You love this.
I was like, okay, this entire time she's been absolutely useless, a small child. And then, like we get in when we first meet her, she's good at gymnastics. And I'm like, oh, there's a perfect bar up there. She could swing, you know, when he jumps up, you just kick him off. I think she did way too many twirls and stuff, but I understand she was trying to get momentum.
And
Because, like,
she anticipated the raptor jumping up to that level where the window was too.
Yeah.
I was thinking before the raptor jumped up, to be quite honest, I thought she was just gonna like go to the next pole, like she was gonna try and get enough momentum to like go up to the next pole and do something cool. But I also thought she might just like drop onto one of the raptors to like it's gonna get close to her dad and she's just gonna jump up and then
Yeah, I like this part where she gets on the roof and she's falling off almost. And the other raptor's coming down and she like pulls the slate out from under it so it slides off.
Yeah.
I thought it was a good part.
It's her
It
one
is really good,
intelligent
but it
moment.
does contain like my most hated like 2 seconds of this film.
Yeah.
What?
Oh,
The
I'm actually
obstacle
physically cringing right now. Just her fingernail.
What? Oh yeah.
Oh, I hate it.
Oh, it's so bad. It's so bad. I mean, I'm still wrestling with which I hate more between this coming up moment and the gymnastics thing because I despise that part. But okay, it's like it's fine, whatever. But like a more self-aware movie could have made it work, I guess. But I don't think this movie is trying to be goofy. It just ends up that way. But this part, oh my god. But yeah, she goes through the glass. The light drops. She rolls down it through another thing of glass.
Like she should have had a dislocated rib, some sort of dislocated ankle, something should have broken, dislocated.
It was just
something.
a stunt person. It's fine.
That's the way. It's like Mousetrap, but the opposite. It's like Mouse Escape. It works so perfectly for her in that moment. It's like,
And there they go.
Come on.
It's like, I'm crying. Why am I crying?
I mean, this all right here does make sense. You got a couple, like people are just shutting down in different ways.
And he
And this
kept
line
the
here is
bullets.
completely useless. It's like the timing of this line is so weird. It's like it's been like 15 minutes or something since that misfire. Like, oh, that's what you will be bringing home. And it's like, well, yes, they are. And
right? It's kind of pointless now. It's like, oh,
and
they
we
got what they
already
came
know
for.
what he shot him with. It's like, okay, I guess we don't technically know at this point that he survived, but you're pretty sure he did. It's like, that's one you won't take home. It's like, yes, they are. And it's way worse. It would have been better if they were dead.
So is he disappointed here because he is never going to have a catch like this again, or is he disappointed because he didn't get to kill it?
No, he's disappointed.
No, his friend's dead.
Yeah.
He's upset because his friend got killed.
Yeah.
Okay.
He says that.
Yeah. And he says it because this guy's like, oh, you got what you wanted. Why are you so upset? His friend got killed. Yeah.
Yeah, his buddy got
Y'all
eaten by
continue
raptors.
talking. I need to blow my nose.
Achoo! Achoo!
Hatcha. 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 Yeah.
Bless you.
Yeah, I don't care.
Yeah,
how
his name's Ajay. Yeah, it's like Ajay didn't make it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And he's real. He's basically his line is, "I've spent enough time in the company of death."
Yeah.
Which has a pretty obvious double meaning. On the one hand, Engine is a company of death, but he also means in the presence of so much death. You know, so it's a little on the nose, but it's not a terrible line, I guess. But
well, I mean, like, it's understandable he would say something like, "I've been surrounded by everyone dying," like,
and then my friend died. So the weight of it finally hits him. Like, okay, this wasn't worth it.
Right.
I guess I just completely blanked out his friend existing at all because he doesn't really say or do much, does he?
No, they don't characterize his friend very much. So it's, you know, he plays this particular morning pretty well. It's just they don't do much with Ajay. He's got like 2 or 3 lines in the whole movie. He's got like when they're perched up on the trees, like tell him, you know, we wait for the buck to come back, and then he is not into the long grass. It's like it's his only lines.
Yeah, he's the guy that is always carrying his rifle, like opposite what everybody else is, with a barrel in hand.
He's his hunting caddy.
Okay.
More or less.
I don't know if that's ever been used as a term, but it should be. I think hunting caddy should be a term.
It's the modern day version of a squire.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
Hunting caddy. It just doesn't sound quite as noble.
Exactly. Borderline diminutive, but you know,
yeah,
not so bad.
Did y'all say his name was Odd Job?
Ajay.
Oh, Odd Job. Not Odd Job from
Not Ajab? No.
Bond?
Durka.
James Bond?
Durka.
No. Y'all don't remember the guy in James Bond that throws his hat?
I remember Odd Job.
Odd
Oh,
Job.
Odd Job. I thought you were saying like AJAB. Odd Job.
No.
Get a job. He's like, you got your trophy. And he's like, and I remember the people that helped me. Trying to give him
He's
a
like,
job. He's like,
I'm taking my expensive gun and going home.
He was probably gonna have Chris Pratt's job.
yeah.
Mm.
They could have, honestly, that wouldn't have been a bad tie-in. I mean, it would have been a little member-berry-ish, but they could have been like, yeah, he trained with this hunter. They could have named him. They could have pulled something like that. I'm a little
he's like,
surprised they didn't.
Right?
I'm done hunting. Kaiser Sose pays better.
Yeah. It's like, you don't know this, but I'm a lawyer on the side.
And then they realize, oh my God, they're taking the T-Rex back to San Diego.
Oh no. And the crushing realization that the
And
ginger
they're like,
lived.
these people are Nazis.
Eddie!
Ah.
They mourn the dinosaurs in captivity way worse than they do Eddie. What the heck?
Yeah. Poor Eddie.
Eddie was the best.
He didn't deserve that.
You're right. He really did
He
get the
didn't.
short end of that stick.
He did.
That's what
Should've
happens when the stick is
survived.
broken
Everybody's
into.
showing up in their limos to come see the T-Rex.
Like, for
You're
a
like
second,
3 in the
if
morning.
you were a bajillionaire, like whoever's like super important and like has money that's just to play with, the just gobs and gobs of money, would you possibly risk yourself seeing a wild animal be brought in that, yes, they say it's secure, but accidents happen? The most powerful,
yeah.
dangerous predator known to ever exist. And I'm going to go see it up front because,
I would say this, a
So he's-
reporter absolutely would.
yes, a reporter, sure.
Many
But, like, if you're
reporters
a millionaire,
I don't know if this big a crowd would want to gather. I mean, this is a lot, but still, I mean, it's.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know how much they've been tipped off to. I'm guessing they know it's a dinosaur. It's engine, so I would guess they know.
So he's
But
doing a speech here, and the guy says, "You need to come in. There's a problem."
yeah,
It's like the boat is not slowing down.
I actually that part before might not. This actually, despite how ridiculously stupid this scenario is on the boat, if it had been a more believable scenario on the boat, like say they were trying to bring a raptor who got loose, the idea of the boat coming full speed, not stopping because it's like, okay, that actually is pretty cool. It's just
Yeah.
when you find out, oh,
How about we tell
T-Rex
people to get
somehow
out of the way?
did what? that doesn't
right?
make
That's
a lick
I
of
was
sense.
so confused. Like, why are there random body parts in place that, like, how
It's
the raptor didn't get out of the enclosure?
This is the most nonsensical part of arguably any of the Jurassic Park movies. This does not make any sense at all.
Yeah,
Yeah,
this
and
I'm
look
like,
this
okay, it
whole
woke
part-
up, but how did it get remotely free to do all that and then still got back? Because those doors were not all that open. So it would have had to have gotten up on the deck, and then went back inside to hide. It's like, how does that even
Yeah,
work?
there's like this little house here this little building they're in. There's like 6 people in,
yeah.
and it gets totally crushed by the boat.
And with that thing coming,
Why
full
don't they
speed, you'd
start
think they would already
running?
yeah, it's like y'all better start
Yeah.
running at this point. It's like maybe we should get out of the way just in case.
Everyone standing there as it pans across him, looking out into the darkness, really gave me Close Encounters vibes.
Yeah, this is one
Like,
of
that's a
those
really cool
prioritize the
shot.
shot over the logic moments. This is,
I mean,
Yeah,
those people in that little building are done.
they're toast.
Yo,
I mean, you see a bunch of them bail, but it's like, and they're only just now realizing,
Matchsticks.
oh shoot, it's coming. It's like, yeah.
like all of those people just standing there, like, oh my god, ship.
Now there is something called, I think it's called like the normalcy bias, where when something happens so far outside of your normal perception of the world, it takes you longer to process it. And maybe I'm giving them a pass when I shouldn't, but that's kind of how I process it in my head. It's like how I
think
justify
it.
kind of-
But I think at a
It's
certain
kind of like
point,
when
'cause
you're
if
watching a car crash happen.
Well, but if you're the guy on the dock who's watching this, there is a point by which you realize this thing can't slow down enough not to hit it. So it does. You're planning. You're talking like, okay, that you're the guy who's supposed to have the level head and say, okay, everyone run, get out of the way. This thing's gonna crash into us. And you don't know how far, so it's just like keep running. Just keep.
There's no justification.
Someone there has to
building.
be the adult in the room, and nobody's doing it.
You can
like,
see the
come
little
on.
building through the truck there, and it just gets totally smushed.
Matchsticks.
That's a really good miniature shot.
Yeah,
It is.
very cool looking. It's a cool looking moment, but it's shot over logic.
Yeah.
Only to be outdone in about 12 seconds.
And everyone starts running towards the ship, which
Yeah.
with the known dinosaur.
The only thing that could have saved this scene is if the T-Rex had literally been at the mast with a captain's hat on, driving the boat.
Yeah.
I would have been like, okay, at least they're acknowledging, yeah, we've gone off the deep end and we know it.
I mean,
this is Captain T-Rex.
You could
that
you
wouldn't
could
work.
almost
because,
say that that
okay,
there
sorry,
was
go ahead.
raptors got on the boat somehow.
Yeah.
Or the baby T-Rex
no-
got out, but we know
Somehow
the baby
Raptor
T-Rex
team-
isn't
well,
there.
well, the baby T-Rex is somewhere
no
else.
explanation.
Like, and with the one hand that has the open close thing, like the T-Rex
The only
doesn't
thing
have
I could
extendo
think-
arms.
Well, they have to go into
The
this
only
thing,
thing I
and
could have
this is all
thought-
broken up. I'm like, okay, if a T-Rex got in here, wouldn't this be destroyed? I mean, it's like this
Yeah.
would be completely
Yeah.
obliterated. It's like this is absolute nonsense. This is nonsense. This makes no sense
I mean,
at all.
I could think that the guy with the thing in his hand that was shut the door is like somebody ran down in there to hide, and the T-Rex chased him down there, and this guy was injured, and he hit the button and then died.
But you look at the size of this; it's like that's not
that
a
would-
lot of room for the
that kinda
T-Rex to
makes sense.
maneuver. The Rex would have been with the water, and it's like it would have been more likely to fall off.
Right? And drown?
Yeah.
And that thing's just it's not open all the way. So it's like the Rex had to have gotten out, done all this damage, and then went back in, and the door shut behind him. Okay, sure. Yeah, that's what happened.
Like, none of this makes absolutely no sense to me.
I don't think there's a way you can make this make any sense. This is just
Yes, I can make it make sense. You have a script where a T-Rex needs to be let loose in San Diego.
Well,
And
like,
that's
they
all
could've-
you've got.
They could have
T-Rex
still let
on
it
fire.
loose, but it would have just broken out as soon as they opened the door. Like, the crew is still alive, and then they open the door, and then whoop.
And this absolute retard's like, oh, let's open it. Why? What even goes into your head thinking that would be a good idea? It's like you know what you're here for, right?
Somebody
push
who's
the
never
red
seen a
button,
dinosaur.
close. And T-Rex comes out, doesn't have a lick of blood on him, despite massacring a whole crew. A whole crew on a ship.
There was time to shower.
I guess like after he was done, he like put his face in the water as they were saying,
Yeah.
"I'm gonna wash this off," or like
You
this.
don't want to leave a trail for somebody to track.
Yeah.
Like, he absolutely obliterates
this
this
is-
sign, but no other part
Yeah.
of the ship besides the gate is damaged.
It's so dumb.
I mean, this is weird. This is like it goes from one movie to a different movie.
Oh yeah.
It feels like a completely different movie,
Yeah, now it's basically
like
King
a
Kong.
B grade dinosaur
Mhm.
movie.
No, it's
No.
Godzilla, because there are Asian people yelling Godzilla as they're running away.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's
yeah.
totally fine.
That was a good touch. I was
think
like,
Spielberg is
No.
racist.
Yay!
I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah, and they're like, we got to basically bring the infant back here, and
This is where she
Where's the
actually is
baby dinosaur?
intelligent.
the
Like,
weird thing
I
is like
actually liked her here.
The only thing the thing that's strange though is he tells them, and then he still wants it, and I'm like, why'd you tell him then? If you want to make sure that thing, if you don't, I guess maybe his thinking is, okay, I get it, we got to lure this thing back, but I still want it. But
Yeah.
This whole pool scene with like, it wants fresh water, goes to chlorine pool.
yeah,
Yeah.
I feel like
This
I've
whole
seen
thing
this
with
little
the
kid
I love
before.
this is so funny. It's like, Mom, Dad, there's a dinosaur.
This
out
kid
running
is
now."
probably like one of the top 5 actors in the movie. He plays it perfectly.
Right?
There's a dinosaur
Rip
in our
the dog.
backyard.
Poor dog.
Poor
Poor dog.
doggy.
He was such a good boy. He was trying to protect his family, and he became the chew toy.
They kill more people who don't deserve it, or more, I guess, living things that don't deserve it than ones that do. It's like that's not right. It's like, okay, Carter, he's in the middle. The his buddy, okay, you go like, yeah, he's gonna die. You knew he was gonna die.
I appreciate that they come into that room already arguing over things that have happened previously. It just makes it feel like it's an actual
the
family.
doghouse.
Yeah.
Oh, that poor dog.
It's pretty generic family argue dialogue, but it's like, that's fine.
Yeah.
It works.
Yeah.
It works. And then they see this and they're like, oh my gosh.
The thing that made me angry is when the kid took the photo.
Though he would, I can get that. I'm like, if I had a camera nearby, it's like, I would. If you're a kid, that's believable.
Hey,
I can
these
see a
days, if
kid
you're an
doing it.
adult,
Yeah, if you're an
Yeah.
adult, granted,
But like with flash, like
Yeah.
flash photography would not be the thing that I would do, even at that age. It's
well,
like,
at that age, I don't know if you're thinking straight. You're just like, I got to get a picture as soon as possible. And he's
We
pretty
go
young.
from
He looks
feeling
like he's
sorry
like
for the dog.
7 or 8 years old, probably.
I go from feeling sorry for the dog to feeling sorry for the car. Ugh,
I was just about to say that.
No.
why?
Oh, this poor car.
That car didn't deserve it. The dog didn't deserve it, and the other guy didn't deserve it.
Even the T-Rex has enough respect for the car to walk around it later on.
Yeah.
What kind of car is that?
Not really sure. Not a car guy, but I just know
I'm
what I
not
like
sure.
them.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. It's a muscle car. I just don't know what kind.
Where did it come from anyway? Where did that car
Yeah.
even come from? What was that doing there?
Well, I'm assuming they've actually been back for a couple of days, or at
Well,
least
they have.
24
They
hours.
have.
Yeah.
That,
So I
that much
assume
you
it's
know,
just
she's
his car that
cleanly
he had at
shaved.
home.
She's cleaned up. It's been a few
Yeah.
days. I'm just wondering. It's like, whose car is this?
I assume it's his.
yeah,
it might be.
same.
It might be. That would fit him.
Mm-hmm.
Except for the color, it should be black.
They really should.
Yeah.
I like red, so I was fine with it.
Maybe he got it to ride around with Sarah because she's a ginger. Well, red on red.
I didn't understand him
Hello.
biting the light here. To be quite honest, I was like,
It's a
what?
light. I think it's kind of like the flare drew his attention. The light would.
Mm.
Kind of like a cat catching, trying to go after something.
Now this would have been
These poor
Speed. This is Speed 2. You get chased by a dinosaur.
There's a Rex beside the bus.
Now, this is a really cool special effect here because there's obviously something that hits this bus
Mm-hmm.
that they had to paint out. Well, I guess maybe it could have actually been kind of pre-damaged and they just did a stitch cut between a regular
You can
bus.
tell there's a bit of CGI. Oh, wait.
Yeah.
Here it is.
Yeah.
Here it is.
King Lear.
King Lear
Yes.
and Jack,
Blockbuster! Let's go.
Jack 2 and King Lear.
Oh, there it is. There's the blockbuster
Yep.
right there.
I would hang that King Lear poster in my room. No joke.
Me too.
That would be
Somebody
hilarious.
should make. I'm gonna have to look that up. See if there's an actual poster of that. That'd be great.
It's a phenomenal poster.
And there comes the bus.
Ah,
You would think the blockbuster would be more prominent.
Yeah.
Show the sign or something.
Maybe it was, and then they
But
watched
I guess
the
you
movie.
would know. That's blockbuster.
Yeah, at that time it was just so iconic. You just
Yeah.
see like those shelves and you would know.
Mm-hmm.
Look how yeah.
And there's the Asian guys.
Oh, there they are. Oh,
Godzilla!
Godzilla.
You know, didn't they said before the dinosaur arrived that it was really early in the morning. It's like, this is a pretty crowded street for early in the morning.
Yeah.
Pretty crowded out there. A lot of
Wait,
people.
and Blockbuster was open, wasn't it?
Mm-hmm.
There were people
I
in
think
there.
Blockbuster was open. This
Huh.
poor guy.
Didn't even think of that.
Oh,
Almost there.
welcome to Buster. Oh,
Yoink.
Somebody, he didn't pay his late fees.
Yeah. He didn't. He was not kind. He didn't rewind.
Yeah, maybe he did deserve it.
I love how there's going to be people who watch this later. They're like, "What does that mean to rewind?" Go away.
there he is.
And the big 76 ball rolls by.
Yeah, there's the
I
dinosaur.
know the smell.
Oh.
Where did the ball roll from, though? Hey, go back.
It was on. It's on it's
on
their
the top?
sign. Yeah, it got knocked off of the top of
Okay,
their sign.
okay, I saw it went sideways. Okay, that's all right. That's fine. Whoa!
Oh, there it goes.
That's
I
probably
love
his
how
best reaction in the movie.
I love how it's like next
It's
to
like,
a gas
oh,
station and like
it didn't get
petrol
my
is made
car.
from
I think
coal
that
and oil, which is dead dinosaur.
I think
Yeah.
that ball rolling by would have been a little funnier if it just clipped off his side mirror. Just think,
Yeah.
knocked off. I think that would have been kind of funny.
Yeah.
Just like, oh, and then dink. It's like, oh gosh.
Bear with me, guys. I'm looking up the car.
I'm
It's gonna
looking at
bother
that
me.
too. I want to say a barracuda.
That's
But I
kind of what
could
I
be
was
wrong.
thinking.
It's a Pontiac.
Oh, is
What
it
it?
a GTO?
Pontiac Custom S.
Oh,
I don't know what that is.
I'm not a car person, so
I'm not either. And
I
this
love
isn't
how
a
later
car
on
movie
he's-
because they kill Eddie Carr.
I love how later on she's like, "Are you sure we should slow down?" He's like, "Are you stupid? We keep going as
She
quickly
flat
as
out tells
possible."
him to slow down. Slow down. He's like, I don't think so.
Huh. Interesting. The Pontiac Custom Tempest or Custom was a 1 year only Pontiac nameplate offered.
oh.
Mm.
Huh. Interesting. And it
Someone
did
has
come in
money.
hardtop and convertible.
It's a nice looking car. I know that.
Groovy.
Yeah,
69.
it was. It's looking a little rough right now. I think this is where she tells him, "Hey, slow down."
Nope.
No,
I love this. The police are like, "We're gonna get him."
Nope.
What?
Nope.
All right, we're
Like,
out.
And they
did
do
not
have the little
sign up
animal
for this.
control. They have the animal control vehicle with them.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so yeah, it's right there in the back.
I didn't notice that.
Yeah. It's a
They're
little
like,
animal control vehicle. It's like,
I love how they just immediately are like,
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 what?
oops, this is not what I signed up for.
I think not.
See ya.
Do.
Yeah, right there.
they
That's
just
it.
run away.
That's the
I don't
What is
get paid enough for that.
Right.
I'm 3 days from retirement.
I'm too old for
Oh.
this stuff.
Mm-hmm.
That poor windshield.
Like, are you sure it's following us? Shut up.
Yeah, pretty sure.
Stop talking. Just, I wish he had a gun just to pop her, and then it's like, just bait. Leave her as bait. My gosh,
Run faster than her.
she doesn't have
I
a lucky
also
pack
think
anymore.
that this guy, out of all of the stupidity, he's the stupidest. He's the most stupid. He takes the
Yeah,
king.
but he
He takes
deserves
the
to get
crown
eaten.
for the king of.
Yeah, because this is why it's like, okay, if he understands they're luring this thing back, the big T-Rex, and that's why he let him do it. It's like, okay, well, they brought it back, so that means the big one's coming too,
Yeah.
right? You know that, don't you?
Come here, little baby dinosaur.
Like, did you think that you were going to get the baby one before the dad showed up?
Yeah. It's like,
Yeah, it's a
dude,
really
why?
boneheaded move, but I can kind of.
And he's like, he sees the big dinosaur. He's like, I've wasted my life.
Yes.
Well, and what does he think that is even going to? It's like, dude, you realize you're going to prison for. It's like there's no way your company is surviving this whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
That baby T-Rex ain't doing squat for you. Okay,
And
it's
there
like
it
you
is.
all brought a T-Rex into a major metropolitan area, and it killed people.
I love
You're
how
not
like you
getting
can
out of this.
see. I like how you can see what the dad T-Rex is doing. It's like, I'm teaching my little one how to hunt. It's a
Yeah.
family moment. It's so bonding.
It's wholesome.
Toxic
He
masculinity.
looks so proud. The T-Rex just looks,
awesome.
oh, so proud.
Now, next I'll teach you hide and
He's like-
seek on a ship.
Oh, that a boy.
Mm-hmm.
Your first kill. We'll teach them engines.
Oh, no.
They're the ones that hunted us into extinction.
Minor nitpick, but what she's
And-
holding in her mouth is not what she puts in that gun. Two
Nope.
totally different targets.
And since when can she shoot?
Mm.
I mean, I'm not aware of her knowing how to do any of this. I mean, I know it's a huge target.
Yeah, this
I get it's a
also
big
this-
target.
This guy's gun isn't going to do anything.
Yeah,
just
it's
gonna
like,
make
what
it
do you think
angry.
you're gonna do with that? You're gonna make it. You're gonna annoy it, maybe.
You might as well
Right?
have a BB gun.
Yeah. Or paintball pellet.
Oh, cool. I didn't even notice that.
Plunk.
Ow.
Hey,
I don't like shots.
gave him a booster. Yeah, I think that's like the third time that thing's been shot.
All right, Jeff, we're gonna need you to stand here and just stare in front of you really intensely.
So, is there anybody on this boat, or is it just
At
Not
the
yet.
moment, no.
autopilot?
Not yet.
I'm not sure. Because
I-
I don't think they had automatic like steering at this. So I think it has
No,
to
they.
be a
I mean, well,
manned
here's
boat.
okay. So if the question is because of the fact that it got up and killed everyone the first time, why do it again? Well, okay, so they tell them after the T-Rexes escaped that they were worried because they had shot it full of that trank so much that they gave it something to counteract that because it was borderline in a coma.
Yeah.
And so basically she's like, so you basically put it in a narcoleptic state. The thing's just going to go crazy now. So now that they've shot it again, it's like, okay, now they know not to do that. So it should stay down for the...
Yeah, but
I
that's
still
something
would...
that-
I mean, and they've got these
I mean,
battleships.
InGen created these animals. You would think they would know exactly what to use.
You would. Exactly, you would. I'm just to answer the question as to why
It's
they
just
bothered to
neat.
get back on the boat in the first place. But I think that's why they're like, well, we won't do that again. It's like, you didn't consider that kind of trial and error beforehand?
Well, and
I
So
would
they
have been
put a-
content to let the thing die.
So it ends with them putting a blockade on those islands
Which
Well,
is what
now
they
with
should have
this-
done in the beginning.
to begin with.
But
And
then
given
they
that the
also
story is
end
on
up
CNN.
showing,
Nobody's going to believe it.
Right?
they also end up showing flyers on the island,
Yeah.
which would have
Mhm.
already have left the
Flyers.
island a long time ago
hmm
to at least the other neighboring islands.
I mean, granted, they still might,
Mm.
but
Yeah.
because there are. I mean, that's
They
not.
migrate, probably.
Yeah. And they probably thrive in certain
And then there's this
conditions.
part.
Animals that are larger tend to need kind of tropical type environments like
look.
this. Or at least I think ones
Does,
of this
does
size
this
would need it.
remind you of anything? This
Yeah,
end part here?
nonsense. All these herbivores and
Yeah,
carnivores are all the
circle
things.
of life.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But it's like, oh wow, they don't seem all. They seem pretty nonplussed about a couple of T-Rexes 10 feet
They
away.
work together.
Well, like it happens. Like if you watch wildlife savannah, like if they know that the predator is eaten, they'll watch it, but they aren't gonna like flee from it.
Did the dinosaurs have CNN? Did they know? Do they
No.
know they ate?
Dinosaurs are the only ones who still watch CNN. But
yeah. But
Hold on.
there
you
we go.
Yay.
I need one of those. I would be doing that all day.
I would too.
You
Hey,
would.
I love my stream deck.
So yeah, there it is. There's the movie.
Ugh.
Now for people watching, Don't get us wrong. We like this movie. It's a
Well,
fun movie.
we really
Like's
do.
a
We just
strong
wanted to
word.
pick it apart.
Like is a strong word.
I like the movie.
I can't say I like this
the
movie.
movie.
I would say I don't hate this movie. I think it's a bad movie. I don't like it. But I can tolerate it. It's kind of like Titanic.
Yeah, okay.
I look at it like Titanic.
So-
I see why some people like it. I don't like it.
I'm going to give two things out here. One, what was your of liking this movie on a scale of 1 to 10? What was it? And on a scale of enjoyability, where would you put it?
I'd say it's a solid 7.5 to 8 for me. Enjoyability, because I know, like, I'm able to see the funny stuff and like the illogical part of it. Like, I actually think it's quite hilarious to watch. It's probably not the intended reason for watching it.
Yeah.
But I find it like I for enjoyability, I'd say 7. Like, I'll watch it again.
Yeah.
I would, let's see. I guess in terms of enjoyability, I'll throw this one out there first. Enjoyability for me, it's like a 5 out of 10. It's pretty. That's just flat mediocre for me. I've seen it enough times to where that's where I would land in terms of enjoyability. If I'm scaling it more objectively, it's more like a 4 out of 10. I do consider it a bad movie. It's not worst of the worst kind of bad. It is below the line of mediocre though. There's too many issues for me to ignore.
Yeah.
I don't hate it. Like when I get to like 3 and below, that's when I start talking about movies I hate. I don't hate this movie. I don't like it either.
So this, yeah. Okay. What about you, Beard?
I'd say, as far as a good movie, there's so much. Repeating myself, there's so many good little bits that stand alone are good, sometimes borderline fantastic. But there's all the other little things in between linking them. So I give it a little bit higher than Gourd. I'll give it like maybe a 5.5 for being good, but it's a good 7 as far as enjoyable for me.
I literally have written in my scoring system for a 4 out of 10. Don't like it, but it has likable qualities. That describes it for me.
Yeah.
Jana.
Yeah, I would.
Like, I would rather watch this again and again and again versus what I'm about to watch and review.
Oh
like,
yeah,
Oh,
for
yeah.
sure. I mean, that's a no-brainer.
I forgot I still have to watch that. Oh,
I don't have to. I'm just going to.
I don't and
what?
won't. At least not right now.
Yeah.
Not anytime soon. But yeah. Ahsoka. Oh gosh.
I don't.
Praying for you.
I don't hate it. Like, I don't want to burn down
hey,
everything.
I think, yeah. I think,
No, I mean,
I
I
think
don't want
it
to
looks
burn it.
good.
Huh?
I think
Yeah,
it
it
looks
looks really
good.
cool.
I
Oh,
think
Ahsoka.
the ships and all that, but then you throw the characters in and it just ruins it.
So
I'd
for
rather
me,
just watch
it's
a show with the ships.
It can't be as bad as Rings of Power. It just can't.
it's not. It's so much
Oh,
like
it's not-
compared
it's
to Rings
not
of
as bad
Power.
as
It's
that.
fabulous. It's fabulous compared to Rings of Power.
Yeah.
I can stomach Ahsoka. Like, I'm neutral towards Ahsoka. I want to burn down all of the world over Rings of Power. So in comparison to that, this is a great show.
Yeah, yeah. And Ray Stevenson in it, man, he can just walk into a room and not say anything, and he's cool.
Yeah.
I will say, like, for me,
R.I.P..
I like the design, I like the plot, and I like most of the actors and actresses. It's the execution, it's the
Yeah,
script.
And
It just
it's a lot like this movie. There's good little bits here and there, but it's all connected with all these stupid, nonsensical bits.
But I would
Mhm.
venture to guess you all probably for Ahsoka lean more towards it being bad than likable. Am I wrong in that?
I'm
mean,
just still
it's-
just neutral. I'm just like,
Okay.
I won't watch it
Well,
again.
how far into it are you?
I'm gonna be reviewing episode 3 tonight,
Okay.
or
Well,
watching
that's
episode
that's
3
not
tonight.
very much
Yeah.
then.
And it's only going to be 8
Here's the thing.
episodes, though.
I liked Andor, but
I've heard Andor's really good.
But it was not Star Wars. It didn't feel like Star Wars. I mean,
See,
I wouldn't say it was a great
I was actually
show,
told,
but it was okay. It wouldn't.
I am going to watch Andor because I watched Andy Serkis's speech and I was like, dang, that was really good. I want to watch this now.
So
I want to watch this
from
and then
what
see if
I've
it
been told,
enhances Rogue One.
I've watched a couple of
Yeah.
a couple of episodes of Andor, and I liked it. The main thing is it's really slow. I actually got my friends who've watched the whole thing says it's opposite. It's one of the only things Disney's made that actually feels like Star Wars. It's just really slow.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I guess.
I can live with a slow burn if it's good. If the
well,
They
payoff.
shouldn't
everybody
have
came
called
here
it
for-
Andor.
No.
So
But since we're on
because
that,
it
my,
wasn't about him.
my short review of that show is, yes, it's too long. It looks fantastic. They linger on beautiful shots, but for far too long. So 3-episode story arcs should have been 2 episodes because they only have 2 episodes worth of story there. It really isn't about Andor because he has no agency whatsoever. Things happen to him. He makes like 2 decisions the entire story.
Mm-hmm.
And it looks like Star Wars, but for the most part, but it doesn't feel like it because it's much more of like a kind of a spy drama, like uprising sort of working in the shadows sort of thing, which is not really what you get with most Star Wars. It's not bad, but I don't have the heart to recommend it to people just because it is so slow. Yeah. But anyway,
and it's just,
that's my Andor review.
It's all leading to the sequels. So
yeah,
it's all leading to the non-canon.
And
I will
people
never
keep saying
acknowledge that as
Kathleen
canon.
Kennedy. People keep saying Kathleen Kennedy has been fired or let go. She's still there.
Yeah, it's like
she was the executive producer on this movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Guys, get off of it. She's doing fine.
Yeah.
It's like y'all just stop believing it.
That was great, guys. Thanks.
That was a lot of fun.
Yes, tons of fun.
Sometimes it is fun to pick apart a movie.
Especially one that you
But
can at least have moments of enjoyment in.
I really liked this movie when I was a kid, and I thought it was fun. It was a enjoyable
like
movie.
this is still way, way, way better than most of the stuff that we get nowadays. Like leaps and bounds ahead. Like if this used to be what we would have considered a really bad movie about 10 years ago, now it's like, oh, it's actually pretty decent in comparison to what we're getting.
And it does show that, not every movie, before the woke time is good. There still are movies that didn't do very well and were not put together well. But
yeah, like I try to cautiously go back to old movies because I'm like, I don't want to fall into the trap of thinking a movie is suddenly good because I've been, awash with terrible things, in the last few years. Because I mean, the 2020s in general, this is the longest drought. Because when I rate a movie on IMDb, I'm going purely on level of enjoyment, not necessarily being all that objective. So 2019 is the last time I've ever rated anything a 10 out of 10. Generally, I have 1 to 3 movies I'll give that in a given year. 2020s, I haven't found one because I'm like, what's good in this last few years? It's been, there've been a few good movies. There's been 1 or 2 kind of great movies, but nothing that reaches that peak level of, excellence.
Yeah. And I was on Copa's show Sunday, the Yo show, and he asked, is this movie good or is it just that we've seen so much junk that it's good? And
I actually have always liked
no,
to go
it's
to the
a
darkness.
good movie.
I've always liked that movie.
And
I
this
have a
just
question
shows
about
that we can watch this movie and see the flaws in it. Fairly big flaws in it. And I think when you see a good movie, it's a good movie.
Is that actually your favorite movie?
What?
Ghost in the Darkness.
No. but it's
Okay,
up
I'm
there.
trying to
It's
figure out the
it's a
format
good
of his
movie.
show because it's called Your Favorite Movie Show, and I was under the impression it was people coming on
I
and
have a
talking about
lot
their
of favorite
movies.
movies. I have
But
a lot of
did you
favorite
pick that
movies.
movie?
Yeah.
Okay. What made you pick it? Just out of curiosity.
The time period it's in,
Okay.
it's set in. I really like that late 1800s, early 1900s period with the big game hunting and
Have you
all that.
seen those lions at the Field Museum before?
No, I haven't.
I have done that. I have seen them twice.
Cool.
It's pretty cool. They don't have manes though. Either they
Yeah.
never did, or they had to shave them off probably. But
They
yeah.
the type of they were there were bushes there. I think they're called acacia bushes, but they have big old needles on them.
Mhm.
And they didn't have any mane because they hunted in this area where all that was, and it would pull it out. So they sorry. Thank you. So it did. It had pulled their hair out, so they didn't have any hair.
Okay.
So, but yeah. So this was good. This was fun. Glad y'all could come on and go through this movie. It's fun.
Heck yeah.
Thanks to the
Good
chat
time.
for
Thanks to
being
everyone
here.
in the chat.
Still feel sad for Steven.
Yeah, of course.
Does he actually like this movie that much?
I don't
Yes.
think so.
Really?
Well,
I don't
I
think
think
so.
he does.
He also mentioned
You
a couple
do?
of times, no, it's trash, rip it to shreds, beard, or something like that.
Oh, okay.
I mean, he said when I went to see it, it made him mad. So he was like 26 when he saw it and made him mad.
Yeah, oh, that's right. He did say that.
I think he was just.
Anyway,
I mean, this is the first movie on my channel that has been picked apart this bad.
Nice. We've set a precedent.
oh, no.
But yeah, I wanted to do it because it had 2 books, and I wanted to finish that off. So, well,
We
guys,
did it.
does anybody have anything they want to plug? Mando?
So I will be doing a review of Ahsoka soon. I don't know if I'll be able to get it out by tomorrow, but I will for sure get it out by Thursday. And Thursday, I will be on Roman of the Empire's channel talking about Ahsoka some more, because why not? Why not just torture myself for days on end with something I don't like? And let's see, I think this Friday will be my Twitch stream. We will be playing Sea of Thieves again, so if you like playing pirate games, please don't miss out on my my Twitch stream on Fridays. Then Saturday, I will be doing a review on my YouTube channel of the first Witcher book in the series, or chronologically. So The Last Wish, because I've got the whole Witcher series finally. I got it for like $40 at my thrift store. I was like,
Nice.
yes. So I'm gonna be doing a review on the Witcher books, and this next Monday I'm gonna be on my Kick stream doing some Dungeons and Dragons, and then I'll be back here next Tuesday. Woo.
I didn't know
Cool.
there was a German pirates.
Yes, we are the German pirates.
The pirates. We are Germans. We are German pirates. We will always be German
Yes.
pirates.
we have German.
So
Gourd,
I have my
what do you got?
I have my gaming streams that run Sunday through Wednesday. So I have one tomorrow starting at 2 p.m. Eastern Time. I am currently playing Armored Core 6, which just came out. It is really, really cool. And yeah, in the coming days, I hope to have my Rings
game
of Power
looked kinda
Episode
cool.
1 review out. It's been long and taxing, and it's a tough edit, but yeah.
May
That's
the
what I got
odds
coming.
be ever in your favor.
Because there's 7 more episodes.
And remember, the sea is always right.
And that C word is never mind.
Actually, I rarely ever have something coming up because I'm
Beard,
just usually
do
popping
you
in
have
on.
anything? Any
Yeah, I
shows you're
usually
going to
just
be on?
pop in, but on Saturday, this coming Saturday, I'll be hanging out with R2 the Icky over on After the Weekend Harder. I don't know what we're talking about yet. He's going to leave that as a surprise, probably, but it'll be a good time.
yeah, so me tomorrow I will be on Roman's show talking the great show Osaka. That'll be fun. And Saturday is my year on YouTube. I'll be celebrating a
Yay.
year on YouTube this Saturday. So yeah, I'm gonna have a few people on and just open the chat up to whoever wants to just pop in and say hello. So that'll be fun. And then next Tuesday is Twilight Zone, episodes 9 and 10. I forgot the names of them right now, but it should be on my channel. And
It's old Twilight
that'll be
Zone.
fun
It's all
too.
good.
And Mando will be on that one, and Shieldwall.
Funny how many times there's that little bit of dread saying that Twilight, Zone, old one. Oh.
Yeah, and that's the 1969
It takes the full title to get there.
Twilight Zone.
Yeah.
Yeah. So guys, well, y'all have a good week, and to the chat, have a good week, and we'll see y'all next
later.
time. Bye.
Bye.